We're back here at Navigation Studios.
What up, what up, what up?
In the great state of Texas. I am here with my closest comrade on planet Earth, Anthony. I am Wesley. We are here in Navigation Studios to bring you... Anthony, is this really episode 9?
Episode 9, man.
And the first Red Pill phone tap of the roaring 20s. It's exciting.
Yeah, I'm very, very ready for 2020. It has a different vibe to it. I guess we're in a new decade, right? So, yeah, it should feel different.
It does feel different. I'm excited that we've got the show going for sure. It's just exciting, Anthony. And we don't do long intros. We're going to jump right into this because, the last couple of weeks, Anthony, we've been trying to help our listeners kind of find out what this show is all about. You had a great write-up for our listeners last week. And we're kind of opening up the show because this is a new decade, new year, new me. That's what everybody's saying, right? Online, on social media. And we want this to be part of your transformation. If you're trying to transform, if you've got some goals, especially in the dating world, or you're trying to take control of your life, if you just swallowed the red pill, we want to be one of the resources that you have for 2020.
Sure.
In bettering your life, right? And one of the things that we hear about this show is there's a lot of people that would like us to just kind of go along, get along. Now, Anthony, in the pre-show, you were saying, this is a show mainly coaching guys,
yeah.
And it is. Now, I would also like to point out our people out in the LGBT community. This is also a show for you if you are the masculine energy in your relationship. But adversely, if you're the feminine energy in your relationship, or you're trying to become the feminine energy in your relationship because the person you're with needs to be more masculine and you want to help guide them into the direction so that you can be happy in your feminine energy, we hope you also use us as a resource. Bottom line is, this isn't a show that's, we've joked before, this isn't a He-Man woman-hating club. This is a show
about accountability on both sides. Really.
Yeah, but Anthony, because we were doing the pre-show and you took this like out of my mouth before I could say it. What was the reason we made this show? I mean, still the reason we're making this show.
To help 3% man us.
Yes.
Because I think, like we said, that is the basics of becoming red pill, right? And that's also the baseline you need to always refer to when making the change from being one of the masses of men that are out there that are struggling with dating and struggling with female hypergamy and struggling with female subconsciousness and behaviors and not understanding why she does what she does, right? Mm-hmm. And how she's speaking, what she's saying, and you don't understand her actions and what her words aren't coming together, but you don't understand exactly her covert approach, right?
Right.
So it's not that she's trying to be manipulative or, and let me hold that back because some are manipulative, but
yes.
If she's a sincere woman, she's not trying to manipulate you or try to throw out misinformation. It's just you can't take her words as they appear on the surface, right? Because she's trying to avoid confrontation. She's the weaker species, so she doesn't want you to react. She don't know what her negative words may come of physically. If you were to respond in that way. So even if she doesn't think that you will, it's just natural for her to speak in that term or in those ways. So being aware of this kind of opens your eyes as a man to the possibilities of ways to being able to approach women in a different way, knowing these things. And it's not that you don't know how, because I've had success with women before I read this book, before I swallowed the red pill.
And that's important.
So it wasn't that I had no charm. It's just that when it came to having how to prolong the process and holding my woman accountable when she gets out of line and try to step into a masculine frame, right? And me maintaining my masculine frame and say, hey, no, I got this. This is me. This is for me to do. You stay feminine. That's where I need you to stay. And that's what women want. They want to maintain their femininity. They want to be comfortable just showing up to the date, just being dressed up and being girly girl.
Show up and be a woman, right?
And you lead. That's what they want. But with so many men not knowing that, they are having to step out and fill that gap. I just told someone this recently. I was like, most men are overmothered and underfathered, and for that, in that aspect, a lot of men aren't being taught by men; they're being taught by women, and men are having a female approach to dating women.
Well, to life, right?
Yeah, everything. Yeah.
Well, because we live in a feminine-centric society, and we're not even talking about people that are divorced. You know, the woman a lot of time will lead the household. I mean, we've been teasing this topic for quite a while now, but we're eventually going to go over how society views fathers and how they assume that women know what's best for their children. I mean, we'll get into that. But Anthony was going through a lot of great specifics, and it's another example of the core of this show is not to troll people. It's not to anger people. It's not to gaslight people. It's this show is about helping people. That is the core. That is the core nucleus of this show, is helping people. And because a lot of you are going into the new year and you have some goals, one of the things Anthony and I that we've observed, that when people are setting goals, when people are trying to make changes, they fail a lot of times because of self-worth. Okay? We talked about last week just something really, really simple, how when I'm in relationships, you don't call each other names. And remember, you were like, hey, how many times have you had a problem with that? I'm like, literally, I've never had a problem with it. No relationship I've been in, because they look in my eyes and they know I believe it. They don't think like, they can't call me names, but I'll call them names. No, they know I believe it. And before you can really improve yourself, before you can really accomplish a goal, before you can really step forward out there into the great unknown and make a positive change for your life, you have to believe it. Okay? You have to believe it. You have to have a positive self-worth. You have to believe it. If your goal, for instance, and this isn't a bad goal, by the way, I'm not saying this goal to be silly, but if your goal is, hey, I want to capture a dime, and I'm talking about a 10, a woman, a 10. Now, Anthony and I go by the 1 to 30 scale,
I was like, yeah, I want
like
that.
Patrice O'Neal's scale. But
30.
Universally, everyone knows what a dime is. Yeah. And your goal is, I want to capture a dime, whatever that means. But give yourself the specific. I want to have sex with a dime, or I want to go on a date with a dime, or I want to talk to a dime.
Wait, when you say that, all right, so a lot of times when you be specific about a goal and then it stops there, be careful. Be careful, because if your goal is to just go out with a hot chick, guess what? Your goal wasn't to sleep with her.
Right.
So you just went out with her, and when the date's over with and you're like, man, I didn't even sleep with her. Well, that wasn't your goal.
Right.
Your goal was just to go out. So how specific are you in your goals? Are you like you said, I wrote it down and it came to fruition.
Yeah. And Anthony, you're talking about a specific conversation we had this week when we were doing some show prep. I was talking about to you the last time I sat down and wrote down a goal. Okay. And, this is a great segment because a lot of people are thinking about this right now. If you write down a goal, you can just write down an idea. I want to go to the fucking moon. And then underneath that, you're like, okay, so what do I need? All right, I need a spaceship. Well, fuck. Where'd I get a spaceship? Well, I can call Lockheed Martin and Boeing, see if they got some spaceships. All right, so I need to make these calls. Once I get the spaceship, I got to do this. So you start with a big, big goal. And then you have all these tiny goals underneath it. So the last time that I wrote down a goal was when I started dating. I was reading Coach Corey Wayne's book, and How to Be a 3% Man, one of the greatest books ever written. And we're going to talk a lot more about that in the second segment.
Oh, yeah.
But I sat down and I wrote down what the girl I want to be with looks like. My goal was to be in a relationship and have a child. I was getting a little longer in the tooth. I wanted to have a child. It was part of my goal. And it had to be sit down and write down what they look like. Now, a lot of you guys are immediately thinking, logistically, I've got to write down an age because this person can't be so old that they can't have children. That's a physical thing that's
right.
You can't overcome, right? So that was one of the things. 35 years old, But Corey Wayne goes into specifics, what color is her skin, what color is her hair, all these other things. So I had been rejected by Asian girls in high school. And it wasn't because they didn't like me, but it was because they came from traditional Asian families. They were not allowed to date a white guy at all. I don't think they were even allowed to date at all. To
right,
be honest.
right.
Yeah. But I remember I would have these great connections with Asian girls, and I was just so hot for them. But over time, I started to look at Asian women, though I was very, very attracted to them. And it was kind of my thing. I kind of had a fetish for Asian women. I just found them incredibly attractive. And I started to kind of tell myself some weird story about how I would never have an Asian girl and how I'm, it's somewhere in my mind, I'm not good enough to have an Asian girl, stuff like that. So after I read Corey Wayne's book and I was coming to the beginning of digesting the red pill, I wanted to really get some confidence. I wanted to shake off this idea that I couldn't have an Asian girl. I purposely, when I wrote down, what the girl looked like, I was like, she's Asian. She has brown hair. She has big old titties.
Asian with big titties.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm I'm making it hard on myself, right?
Yeah.
I'm being very specific. And then, of course, the rest is history. I married an Asian gal with beautiful big breasts, and we have a daughter now. It's 4 months old. But and guys, it's not always going to happen. You're not going to accomplish every goal. But I was very, very focused on it. And you and I started talking about some specifics. We, because this was very much on my radar, my radar would always kind of be open, okay, well, how do I meet? I'm dating these other girls, but how do I specifically find Asian girls? Do I need to go to a certain part of town, or do I need? And one of the options on the dating app that I was on, OkCupid, allowed you to sort by race. So I was like, oh, okay, but because I sat and wrote this down, and it's very, very front of mind, it was just, I was gonna figure it out, right?
Look at all these damn keys to unlock.
right. But it started with, and I was very much challenging myself. I was like, no. I deserve an Asian woman. I deserve this. I'm good enough to have an Asian girl. If that's my thing, if that's what I'm attracted to, I'm good enough for this shit, and I'm going to fucking prove it to myself, right? And this is where we bring it in, guys. We're talking about self-worth. You have to believe. Heart attack serious. You have to believe. And this brings it back full circle to how we began the show. People think that we're mean when they listen to our show. When we say a woman's not beautiful. We were talking about Natalie Merchant last week.
Yeah.
Physically not beautiful. Her voice is amazing. If you listen to the things that we said about Natalie Merchant, we probably said 25 amazing things about her. But people are going to focus on the fact that we said physically she's not beautiful. And they're going to call us mean. No. Ladies and gentlemen, those are facts. Facts. And here is why, and this is why the fuckery, everybody, needs to stop. Here is why, when someone tells you something good about yourself, rationally, Anthony, when someone tells you something good about yourself, that should fucking fire you up, man. That should fill up your confidence tank, right?
Depends what they saying.
Yeah, but I mean, mindset. In a vacuum, one human's communicating with another, and they say, "Damn, Anthony, man, you're a great communicator. You're really good at communicating."
Oh yeah, those are facts, though.
Well, I agree with that. And there's going to be times where people give you a compliment. That's kind of obvious, right? But you can tell they're very impressed. But I'll tell you a compliment people give me that just kind of goes over my head. People say, you're going to be a great dad. And I don't really take in the compliment, and here's why. And here's where the fuckery needs to stop. People will just say shit so they can make you feel good in a moment, so they can make themselves feel good for making you feel good. And it's fake fucking shit, okay? When we go into this self-worth, talking about you feeling good about yourself, you cannot accomplish your goals, ladies and gentlemen, without this self-worth. You can't do it. Because every time you get to a hard point in your goal, you get to one obstacle or another, you're going to fold because you don't have good self-worth. Okay? So this is what we've got a really, really good segment coming up, second segment, well, technically the third segment of this show, that's going to get into some more significant specifics on this. But I want you guys, as we go through this year and you're listening to this show, I want you to keep in mind that fake self-worth is not going to get you there. Okay? I want you, as an exercise, everybody right now, you may have already written down your goals, and that's good. But I want you to write down why you think you haven't accomplished them already. Now, this is where your self-doubt lives.
Man,
This is where your self-doubt lives.
I had a spiritual breakthrough to get to that point.
Yeah. I mean, to really, really believe in yourself. I'll never forget this. This is one of the when it comes to believing in yourself, when it comes to self-worth, I'll never forget. I saw this really intense interview from Sugar Ray Leonard. Okay, and Sugar Ray Leonard, man, his comeback. Who did he fight?
Got me.
Oh, God, I hate that. But he had this amazing comeback. It wasn't Marvin Hagler, was it? I'm butchering this. Jesus. My boxing history is so bad. But he made this comeback, and everyone was really asking, like, Jesus, Sugar Ray, come on, man. Your career's over. What are you doing? And he fought the champ, and it came down to a decision. He fought an amazing, amazing match, and the decision went to Sugar Ray Leonard, and he won. It's one of the most crazy boxing upsets of all time because he was well past his prime, but they offered him a lot of money because he was a big name, but he ends up winning. And I remember seeing him in this interview, and he got very emotional. And he says, that's when I learned that that to do something great in life, you got to go through a moment where your parents don't believe in you, your in-laws don't believe in you, your wife doesn't believe in you, your kids don't believe in you, and you got to look in the mirror despite all that and still believe in yourself. And when I heard him say that, I remembered thinking at the time, I got goosebumps. I'm getting goosebumps now. But I remembered thinking, especially when he was talking about his wife not believing in him. You know what I'm saying? That was like he put it all out there. Okay.
Was it Roberto Duran?
No, it wasn't Roberto Duran, because that was the No Mas fight.
Oh, okay. It was Marvin Hagler. You're right.
It was I thought it was Marvin Hagler, but it's did better than I thought. See, I'm telling people to believe in themselves. I should have believed in myself. But self-worth, guys, without self-worth, you're not going to be able to accomplish all these things you want to accomplish. Okay? So I want you to write down what you think is stopping you. And that's where I want you to start your goals. If you think you can't, if we're just using it for instance, if you think that what's keeping you from sleeping with a dime is your weight, knock that shit out of the way.
It's a lie.
Well, it probably is a lie. But, Anthony, if we got some really obese people out here, it's probably real.
It's going to be more difficult for you, but it's not impossible.
Yeah, and here's the thing. But if you believe it...
Right, she'll believe it.
She'll believe it. So the easiest thing to do, and what's better for your health also, go lose that weight. Knock out all these fucking obstacles that make you doubt yourself.
Even if, let's say you're obese and you lose 50 pounds, you know how much confidence you gain from
100%.
losing 50 pounds?
Yeah. But it's going to be genuine confidence. It's not going to be like all these fake-ass people that criticize our show. These fake-ass people that criticize the Red Pill Phone Tap, they want to get online and they're playing some kind of weird fucking game where they get points by saying nice shit online. Okay. Meanwhile, Anthony and I have to have courage because we're going to get no points for feeding all of you the vegetables that you need to become strong and better in this life. People are going to dog on us. They're going to call us male chauvinists. They're going to say we hate women. It's going to be this whole thing. But we didn't come here for compliments. We didn't come here to be loved. We didn't come here to make millions of dollars. The reason we started this Red Pill Phone Tap for you, it was to help you. That is what we're passionate about. So you know what, Anthony? In 2020, they can say whatever fucking thing they want about you and I, but we're not going to, because we believe this shit. We believe this shit. We are here to help all of you in 2020. And self-worth, we're going to help you take that shit back. All right? We got some good stuff on the show today. Our first segment is going to be cleverly titled Basketball Coaching.
Shout out to Bruno.
Shout out to Bruno. Basketball Coaching is going to be our first segment. Then we're going to go into a segment that Anthony brings all the good content. He brought a great segment to you guys called Psychological Mind Traps. So it's going to help you guys with the self-worth that we were just talking about. And then we've got a fun segment that we'll end on. We've got some comments and some supposed corrections from last week's show. I can't wait for that part because I can't wait to tear these people apart. But Anthony, before we go into basketball coaching, it is really weird because you and I talk so much and share so many ideas. Sometimes I go out into the real world and just really simple things that we know get so much pushback. Right? I mean, just so much pushback.
For example, what?
It'll be something really simple like, people. I'll tell you one that happened real life 2 weeks ago. Someone was making fun of men's rights activists, right? And by the way, I'm not a huge men's rights activist guy, but I did bring up a good point because this is pretty much can't deny it. I said, well, let's say, for instance, that they are misled. You do at least agree. That the marriage laws are really
antiquated.
Yeah, they're really one-sided. I mean, they benefit one gender.
Overcorrection.
One gender way more than the other.
Man.
And Rollo Tomasi points out these laws worked when society had shaming involved with marriages. You couldn't just have 5 kids by 5 different dudes.
Right.
You would get shamed the fuck out into like where you had to live off in the woods by yourself.
You would be so shamed 5 would be impossible. It was no way
you wouldn't get to 3.
Right. It's no way you can get that far without being thrown they probably would throw your ass over a cliff for.
Yeah, I mean, you would have to wear a scarlet letter. It would be a whole fuck. I mean, I know that's not a good example because you don't get a scarlet letter for having children. I digress. But I just thought I was pretty, facts. Well, at least listen. Whether you like men's rights activists or not, clearly we can all agree that the divorce laws are really in favor of women over men, right? Thinking I was just going to get them to be like, well, yeah, I mean, that's a good point. But, they say this other silly stuff. We couldn't even get there. We couldn't even get guys and girls in this to admit that the divorce laws are very one-sided right now.
Well, man, wait. What?
Oh, 100. I mean, that's what I'm talking about.
Was this a one-on-one conversation or
it was in a group?
That's the problem. That's the Truth Serum. If you get someone one-on-one, or maybe it's just, is it dishonest?
I'll be honest. No, I don't even think it was dishonest harmony because the male in the group clearly outranked everyone.
I'm talking about if you get someone one-on-one, do you think it's dishonest harmony just so they won't have the confrontation that they disagree with you about a topic like that?
I think in this specific case, now I agree that happens, but in this specific case, there may have been a little ass kissing for sex, maybe.
Okay. Well, see, that too. You got a lot of dynamics when it comes to that. That's why a lot of times I know when to let a topic die because someone's not being completely honest because they have other agendas, right?
Well, I thought in any group that I was talking in,
that common sense and
we could
logic.
all agree the sky is blue, right? Like,
Well, Wesley, sometimes it's red and orange and yellow.
You ever seen a great sunset on the beach? It's not blue. Okay, bitch, but so, I oftentimes forget, the more popular the show gets, the more backlash we're going to get. We're going to talk in the last segment of this show about some of the comments, which I'm excited about because we're just going to see how far off base some people are when it comes to talking about reality. I hope we are. Now, I haven't seen the comments because I wanted to react to them.
Okay.
So I hope we are. But I want to point out, before we go into basketball coaching, that the nucleus of this show is helping people. Hopefully helping people to not go through some of the hard times that we went through. I have a wife that is my unicorn. I have a beautiful new daughter. We just moved into a new house, middle of the city. My favorite, and a city I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. Houston is one of my favorite cities. As far as living somewhere, I love this city as a home base. Obviously, love to travel to other places and stuff, but I love this as a home base. guys, I'm not, and neither me nor Anthony, we're not shooting this show live from our parents' basement where we're super angry about life. I have an amazing life, and so does Anthony. But what our real dream, what our real goal for our listeners is, we'd love to get you to where we're at a lot faster. That's really what we're here to do.
I just told someone not too long ago, before I got here, that I want you to avoid the pitfalls that I had in my 20s, that I had to learn and fuck my way up through them, right?
Yeah.
And if you have the opportunity to gain this knowledge and take the risk that I was explaining to him, I was like, sometimes your circumstances choose your path without you choosing your path for circumstances you want. So if you are out here trying to live your life, but you don't know you don't have a direction, don't let life choose your direction for you. For instance, I was like, if you're taking a risk on something you want to do and you fail, but you failed doing something you wanted to do. You didn't say, oh, I got to get this job because I got this chick pregnant because now I got to help support her and help my kid have food, So that's life choosing for you, right? And you don't have the freedoms to go out and do what you may have wanted because now you have other responsibilities. You have other things pulling at you. So, man, it's very important that if you want help, to go ahead and reach out to people that's already been there.
Well, how can they reach out to us, Anthony?
That would be redpillphonetap@gmail.com. That would be hitting us on, if you follow us in the social medias, in the inbox. I've been, this week was busy.
Oh, awesome.
Busy in the inbox this week. So
phenomenal. Also, you can follow us on Instagram.
Yes.
At the Red Pill Phone Tap. That's at the Red Pill Phone Tap.
We got to do better going live. We'll eventually get there.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
And get you guys involved while we're doing the segment. But, we're also on the iHeartRadio. So that's Red Pill Phone Tap on iHeartRadio.
Now, when we were doing our statistics, we were looking earlier because last week we mentioned how many countries we're in.
Right.
What was it? We knew we were big on Spotify.
And Spotify and Google Podcasts was the top
Google
two.
Podcast. Yeah, we were surprised about that. It was like, all right, shout out all you guys listening on Google Podcasts. That's awesome. We're going to be moving to SoundCloud soon. Mm-hmm. So any way you want to reach out to us so that we can help. Men,
YouTube. Yeah, we're on YouTube as well.
Ladies, we mentioned before our folks in the LGBT community, because in the LGBT community, we're always going to be dealing with masculine energy and feminine energy. Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing. And when we say this podcast is about helping people, again, we believe it. We're passionate about it. So let's get to our segment this week called Basketball Coaching. Now, Anthony, set this up. We're in a group on Facebook.
We're in a How to Be a 3% Man Corey Wayne group where a lot of guys have read the book and been introduced to the book, and they are at different levels of reading. So either they just picked it up, and I'll tell you, it's hard to read the same book over and over again. That's a big challenge in itself. So to pick it up,
that's a really good point, actually.
Yeah, to pick it up and start say, man, I've read this already. I feel like I know this, and then you pick it up and read it again. That's letting you know that it's not what you know, it's who you are. So.
Oh, I like that. It's not what you know, it's who you are. Wow.
And if you read this book 10 to 15 times, as Corey suggests, you definitely will become the man you want to be. Now, me and Wesley both know that, all the principles that Corey goes into doesn't agree with you 100%. As far as but over 90% of his principles are spot on.
Yeah,
and can fit you.
Yeah, we've identified a few things, and I don't mind saying, I think Corey Wayne would even say, hey, we've got to add some supplements. We've got to edit a few things.
Yeah, the book is not new.
It's not. Yeah,
but
it's not new at all.
But it's still.
It's so relevant.
Yes. So I wanted to kind of like preface it with this. Like, think about it. All you guys that are reading this book or even listening to this channel is probably read this book because you've been heartbroken and you want the pain to go away, and you would do just about anything to fill that void, like reading his book 10 to 15 times, right? And sometimes we tend to fill the void that we have with someone that broke our heart with just another chick to just to fill the gap, right? But that's not exactly fixing what's wrong, right? Like we don't. Yeah. We want the pain to go away, but it's not the thing that's gonna keep you from getting your heart broke again, right?
Yeah.
So what I would say is fill it with self-love. We talk about self-worth. I think you can't expect someone to love you without knowing how you want to be loved. Like you have to love yourself and know what that feels like to know when somebody is not loving you.
This is huge because a lot of men are, and we're really, really wired to be the hero for the woman. And that's a big piece to the equation, Anthony. Where we live also in this world, look at all the movies and everything we see. There's this romantic thing about being selfless and not taking care of yourself. But Anthony, the more, and of course, a lot of you guys know I'm prior service Army. Anthony is prior service Navy. But I can't get past the analogy. It always keeps me straight when I think about the captain of a naval vessel. Mm-hmm. So much stuff going on. I mean, Jesus, the aircraft carrier is a floating city, and you better believe that captain is going to care for himself so that he can take care of those men. I mean, to me, it's one thing to be a brigadier general of an army post. When you're on land, there's endless resources. You know what I mean?
Right.
When you're out in the middle of that fucking ocean, it is like heart attack serious, keeping people alive.
We are the hospital, the fire department, the police department, everything. Everything happening. Nobody's coming in the middle of the ocean to help us.
I mean, that captain has got to be so sure, so in charge, and almost in a way of like it's a burden. I mean, the captain obviously gets some special privileges. He gets special meals and shit like that.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus, however long it takes you to become a captain, you've earned it, But when I talk about you guys possibly getting in a relationship or being on dates and things like that, I want you guys to keep that analogy in mind because the captain doesn't go 50-50 with nobody on that fucking boat. There's too much at stake.
Yeah.
There's too much at stake, guys.
It's on his
Your
head.
happiness when it comes to dating, your happiness is at stake. Now, I want to point out to you, unless you just meet some meatball fucking jerk, the way men are wired, when men are happy, and this is Patrice O'Neal's statement, not mine, but when men are happy, they make everybody else around them happy.
Yep.
Always. Trust yourself, guys. If you make yourself happy, I want you to trust yourself in 2020. Trust yourself that you're going to make not just your girlfriend or your wife or your kids or your friends. I mean, everybody When you're happy and you've made yourself happy, you've chased your life goals and you start accomplishing them, trust yourself. If you're a man and you're not a fucking meatball, and we try to identify meatballs every week, right? So we can give you examples of what not to do. But trust yourself, guys. The way men are wired, or if you're in the LGBT community, if you're the masculine energy in a relationship, the way masculinity is wired is you take everybody else with you. That's why when you have kings in, medieval times, the kings they always talk about are the fucking jerks. Because everybody else usually come and go, everything's cool, they're making decisions, but they always bring up the jerks because it affects everybody. When men go off the rails and become meatballs and jerks and shit, it affects everybody. Happy men typically, as a rule, they bring everybody else with them.
Yeah. Those mad kings get the most love, right, in history.
Well, they get the most just like Hitler's the most talked about.
Yeah.
They're fucking assholes.
Yeah, no one's talking about the guy who had dynasties of happy, no wars, no they had everybody learned, they built universities and expanded, philosophies and stuff like that. No one is talking about that. They want to talk about, look, this mother killed everybody. So I guess people was like, well, I want the attention, so I gotta be a jerk. Yeah. I gotta be an asshole, right? But unless that's who you are, I would say you don't have to be. I've never had to be a jerk. Now, some people think you respecting yourself is being a jerk, or you protecting your aura or your vibe,
or even
is being a jerk. But
protecting your interests.
Yeah. Well, but because people are so used to being able to offer unsolicited advice or unsolicited critique and getting away with it, and you're just supposed to take it, and it's like, no, I value myself and I value my mindset. We talked about this earlier, self-worth. I value that. So if I value that, I won't let you just take it away by throwing your negative energy at me and expect me to absorb it just because you put it out. I'm gonna ignore it. I'm gonna let you know that it's not welcome, and you're not allowed to speak to me in that manner again, right? So people may think you're a jerk for standing up for yourself, but it's high time that you do. You have to do it for you, because no one else is going to do it for you, and if someone else is doing it for you, you look still less of a man. If Wesley comes to my defense of something that he was like, why, Anthony, why are you letting them talk to you like that? I still look weak. You know what I mean? I have to develop a strength within myself to understand that no one should talk to me in that way. And
because nobody's going to talk to the captain that way,
not at all,
for goddamn sure.
And when people see you stand up for yourself, they gain a respect for you, even in their shock and awe. Right? They may quickly say, "Hey, it's not that serious." Well, for me, it is. Because I felt the shift in my energy, right? If it just blew over me and I was like, fuck you, motherfucker, I don't really care what you said. Typically, it's the people that's your friends. It's your family that's doing it to you. The people that's close to you that kind of throws you off because they're used to you being a certain way, right?
Right.
So they keep you in the same box. And then when they see you growing outside that box, they're like, hey, get your ass back in that box.
Right.
I'm more comfortable with you inside that box. So you stay where I want you to stay. And when you like, no, I'm growing. And if my growth bothers you, you can move around.
And I'm so glad Anthony brought that up too, because you guys, if you're really serious about your goals in 2020, you're going to meet resistance because your friends and loved ones they're comfortable with you the way you are. And because they're not as aggressive about their goals as you are, you're going to make them very uncomfortable with all this change. Now, that being said, Anthony, let's try our hand at basketball coaching.
I was going to finish a couple of things.
My bad.
I wanted to say that.
Jesus, that was a terrible segue. My bad, my bad, listeners.
Only reason I wanted to bring it up is because I think it's important when you have self-love and you're trying to heal yourself, that you have daily habitual rituals of being able, even if it's like meditation or a self-proclamation in the mirror, to tell yourself, to remind yourself to love yourself, and that. And it may sound, and if it's the first time you're hearing something like this about a man saying love yourself, it may sound weird to you, but I really want you to understand that when you're hurt and that heartache that's gotten you depressed, that you lost weight over, that you can't think straight, you're kind of letting time pass you by because you're so distraught over this heartache that you've experienced, that if you don't feel that a daily habitual ritual of self-loving yourself is important, and let's say you heal yourself, you feel the void, you healed yourself, you read the book 10 to 15 times, you've been successful with women, and now what happens? You stop doing the daily rituals that you're telling yourself to love yourself, and guess what happens? You end up making the same mistake or a similar mistake because you thought that, oh, I'm healed, I don't have that pain anymore, therefore I don't need to tell myself to love myself anymore. And then what happens? I've seen it on Corey Wayne's videos all the time where guys are like, oh, I know the material, I'm being successful, I'm hanging out, I'm having fun, I'm hooking up, right? And yet you're in Corey Wayne's email.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to what you were saying. You have to be it. You can't.
Yeah.
As Corey Wayne famously says in his videos, you can't cherry pick information.
Right.
And got it. Okay, I got it.
That was what I was suffering with. Cool. That's all I needed. Thanks. I'm gonna go back out there. Put me back in, coach.
Yeah. Man, all I needed to do was change this tire. Now the car's fixed. Right. No, sir. You need to swap that engine out. Need a new transmission. No. The car's running now. The tire's changed out. It's all good.
Well, what this all is saying is that to avoid recycling your mistakes, you have to know who you are. You know what I'm saying? Become what you want to be instead of just knowing the information of how to do it, right? I remember when you first read the book and you was like, cool, I got it. I'm getting back out there. I know exactly what I need to do. And I'm like,
sounds good.
I'm like, all right, man. And you was like, and I knew you was coming back. I knew you was going to come back.
Yeah.
Because you was like, because I even asked, I said, did you read it? I said, I haven't finished the book yet, but I read this chapter and
stupid past Wesley.
And I was like, all right, man. I've seen you in a Corey Wayne video, so yeah. I know you'll be back.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
So
I just wanted to say that part before we.
I'm glad you did because it's very important to this segment. I don't know, Anthony. Let's get to our first big segment of the show. Let's try our hand at basketball coaching. Do you not have sound? Oh, sorry.
Oh, you had it.
The crowd was there. We just couldn't hear him. I'm sorry. Okay,
all right, there we go.
But you know what? Let's so that we feel the energy. Let's try our hand at basketball coaching. All right. So that we feel the crowd's energy. They were cheering. They just weren't coming through our headphones. Good Lord. Hey, and by the way, thank you, everybody. We appreciate you guys. I mean, we've never done basketball coaching before. It's our first time. So, Anthony, we have our friend Bruno in the How to Be a 3% Man group we are in on Facebook. And Bruno, we appreciate you joining us. We know that you're listening. And Bruno writes and really loved how well written this was.
Oh, very well.
He gets into a lot of detail. Yeah. And the more detail you guys get into when you write your emails or your comments or whatever, more details you can give us, the better we can help out. Now, one of the meatball things, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to point at myself on this one. I'm guilty of this, is a lot of times if there's a long, detailed story, I'll do the meatball thing like, all right, bruh, you're spending too much time thinking about this girl, bruh. Oh. But as I go into Bruno's writing here, I'm like, you know what? It's important that we do all these details, and we're going to kind of tell you why as we go through. But let's first read Bruno's great detailed description of an encounter he had with a gal. Bruno says, hey guys, I got this situation back in May that I would have got analyzed by Corey, meaning Corey Wayne. However, it is practically impossible to send him an email due to high demand. So I figured you guys could tell me where I went wrong or what happened. Keep in mind, I was only at my third read of the book back then, now at 10. That's good. I was at 23 at the time, and I was 23 at the time, and she had just turned 18. All right. So he says, so I met this girl at school after talking to her about 3 times in person, and I asked her out on a date. She told me she was unsure of her schedule, so I told her to get back to me. All right. Anthony, do you want to kind of pause as we go here?
Sure.
Yeah, that was good.
Everything's good so far.
Yeah. Talked to her in person, asked her out in person.
Yeah.
I'm going to give that that's a good bell. That's a good bell. 5 days later, and so she said she didn't know her schedule, so he didn't push. And he says, hey, we'll reach out, whatevs. 5 days later, she texted me, and we ended up going out on a date the same night on a Tuesday, which lasted 4 hours. Okay. So,
how you feel about a 4-hour date?
4 hour, that's good.
First date.
4 hour first date's good. I like that a lot.
It's a lot of talking.
A lot of high interest.
Yeah. Well, definitely for 4 hours, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of high interest. A 4 hour date, that's usually going pretty good. The one thing I didn't like was her texting and them going out that night. Now,
super available.
You're very, very available, okay? But we're trying to measure very available with high interest, okay?
Yeah.
And, of course, you and I have the benefit of already having read this. So he says, we went for a walk around town and stopped for coffee and she even offered to buy me one. After the date, I went for a hug, and he says, yeah, bad move.
I wanna go back to he put
another good thing he did, right?
Well, there's a important detail in there when you're talking about vetting women.
Mm-hmm.
She's offering to buy you something after you taken her out on a date. Man, that's the kind of woman you're looking for as far as like reciprocating to you, right?
This is a good match for him, and you and I are going to talk about this several times in this. And already, like you said, that's a good sign. She's looking to buy, and that's the kind of shit that impresses men.
Yeah, and that's a high end. She has high interest. When women are paying money out of their pocket to you, that is super high interest.
Crazy high.
So
I also want to point out something else good that he did is he said that we went for a walk around town and stopped for coffee. So he kind of made that into 2 days.
Second date, yeah.
Yeah. So, and again, guys, for people that are new to Corey Wayne's material, one of the things he suggests is not just going to one place. And that's when we talked about dating in a prior episode.
Yeah.
You know, Anthony shared some really specific strategies on how you could do that. Here in Houston, we'll have some town centers where you can just park your car in a parking garage, and there's a lot of stuff within walking distance. It feels like instead of being on one date, you've gone on 3 or 4,
right?
And then you can lead to hooking up later.
Because why? You have 3 or 4 different experiences and environments and surroundings. So
going on a walk lends itself to a lot of communication.
Correct.
So far, so good, except for the hug.
Man, now, he was doing so well.
He was doing so good. Now, Bruno, and we're going to find out a lot more about Bruno, and I'm really, later in this story, I'm going to commend him now. He has a lot of courage to be very candid in this story, which I really appreciate. But, Bruno, you do have to, and you already knew that you did it. You said, bad move on the hug. You have to be confident enough to go in for that kiss, brother. Especially with the high interest she was giving you. She texted you. You guys ended up going out that night. Now, again,
I thought paid for your coffee.
Yeah, I still thought he was a little too available, but sometimes you can break some rules when the woman has high interest.
Yes,
right. So
you get away with him.
So far so good, but the hug, Bruno, you gotta be more confident. However, Bruno goes into some more specifics.
I hug my little sister, bro. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So we went on another date on Friday night. So this was 3 days later. Okay. First bad move. Okay. First, you were too available, but we're going to let you slide because there's high interest.
Yeah.
But now you're seeing someone twice in 1 week. Anthony, there's a couple of reasons why this is not good. Go ahead and give yours.
We touched on it earlier. You're being too available.
Also, this is a bad habit to get into, because this does not allow you to vet women. If you see women more than once a week, you're going to get attached to them, and you're not going to vet them properly. Okay?
Man, we have it was another story that somebody had in the group, and this guy was seeing this chick like 6 times a week, and I'm like, what? And they're not together, right?
Right.
And I'm like, you're giving her so much access to you. She can't miss you.
Well, also, where do you go from there?
I don't know. It's only one more day left in the
week. Where do you go from there? Because you're not going to do that for your whole relationship, but now you've set that expectation. Right.
But then you get burnout, you know what I'm saying? For her and you.
Yeah. And now you can't be missing for a day.
Right.
Now it's a fight, right? So, Bruno, you were a little too available. And you're trapping yourself by if you're seeing someone more than once a week, it's just you steer clear of that because you're going to get attached, and once you're attached and feelings are involved, you're not thinking rationally. Hey, is this person good for me? Are they not good for me? You're now on a roller coaster, and they're taking you wherever the fuck they want to go.
Right, and you haven't had sex, right? So that's more tension sexually,
right?
So you're saying, is this the time that's going to happen? Right, and that's the energy. Your nervous, anxious energy is going to be all throughout the date, and she's not going to know what that is. She's just going to feel uncomfortable, right?
And let me be more specific about why it's important to not be so readily available, because I can already hear our guys emailing us. Look, man, I found somebody I liked. I'm tired of playing games. It's like, bruh, we're not telling you to play games, but let me tell you specifically why you don't want to be too available. Women are attracted to men that other women want, okay? If you're too available, it is not consciously, but subconsciously, it's showing her there ain't no other women after you because you're just sitting at home unless I call.
Yeah. Right. And plus, you want to vet her in another way. Is like you want to see how she responds to being told no.
100%. And I just want to drive this home because I think this may have been what happened here, but we'll go on. It says about a week later, again, we went on our third date.
So is this three dates in 2 weeks or?
Oh, I'm sorry. It says they went on another date Friday night. I was reading the wrong paragraph. Again, I want to commend Bruno. He's separating into paragraphs too. Very well written. So they went out Tuesday, went out Friday night. I took her to dinner, and after that, she invited me back to her place to watch a movie.
Hey.
Sounding good. I also think dinner is appropriate for a second date. You didn't take her to dinner on the first date. Walking around, going to a coffee shop. Second date, dinner's no problem to me. And you get the invite for Netflix and chill. Of course, throughout the movie, I made my move to kiss her, and she kissed me back with no hesitation at all. Okay. So you made the move to kiss her, and she's kissing back with no hesitation at all. What that tells me, if I'm reading between the lines, and correct me if you disagree, Anthony, if she's kissing back with no hesitation at all, you should be getting some pushback. And it's fine. It's fine. You want to keep pushing a little forward. Now, don't abandon the whole idea of seduction. You just kind of go a little further, and then she's like, oh gosh, I'm not uncomfortable. And that's fine. I'll be back here in the same spot, probably in about 15 or 20, but we want to keep pushing. I'm reading between the line here, Anthony, and correct me if you disagree. Well, tell me if you disagree. She has no hesitation. That kind of tells me she wanted you to escalate more.
Right.
Yeah.
I not only, but she was anticipating because she probably felt your energy anyway, right?
Yeah.
So she knew it was coming, right? So you either picked the time or you was right on the edge of waiting too long.
Yeah.
Because she was very, very ready. And besides, man, this is date 2 and she invited you back to the house.
And I want to point out, too, because I know a lot of you are wondering, Bruno, handsome dude.
Yeah.
Athlete, handsome dude. So, guys, as you're reading along with us, that is not an issue here.
Well, she's showing super high interest, man.
Yes.
That shouldn't even come across their mind.
Right. Well, yeah. Well, not everybody's read Corey Wayne's book.
Gotcha.
But it says, we were cuddling, so they're still there watching the movie. We were cuddling, and every 2 minutes, she would look at me to get another kiss. We probably kissed like 16 times during that night. Okay. I forgot about this part. Yeah, you weren't pushing hard enough.
No.
Bruno. You gotta.
I think he was happy that this was just happening at that moment.
Yeah,
right?
and to be fair, I think Bruno doesn't have as much experience, and that's awesome. He's getting experience here.
Yeah.
Guys, what I want to explain to you is knowledge versus experience. Okay, you can sit down and read a book on how to hit a golf ball, and you can read it 15 to 30 times, no problem. But until you get out there on the driving range and you do it thousands and thousands and thousands of times, you can know what to do. But getting your body to do all the shit that you read flawlessly, as you said, Anthony, until you become the material.
Right.
You never really are until you are, right?
Yep.
And this is one of those things where you guys are going to see through this story. This is a great, great experience for Bruno. And it sounds like he's never experienced this so far in life.
Right.
So honestly, I mean, not doing bad so far.
No.
For a guy that doesn't have a whole lot of experience, which is what it sounds like, right? Yeah. Doing pretty damn good.
He is moving forward, and
what I would have liked to have seen though is a shirt coming off. I would have liked to have seen some kissing on the breasts. I would have liked to have seen some reaching under the pants. Bruno, our advice to you: if she's inviting you to her place for a movie, she's not going to come out and say, hey, I hope things escalate. No. But she's trying to incubate an environment for that to happen, right?
Yeah. She pulled out the popcorn and you didn't put it in the microwave.
I like that. So, said they probably kissed about 16 times during that date. Says, about a week later, okay, good. So we waited a week. Already doing good, right? About a week later, we went on our third date. We went to play mini golf. By the way, good date.
Very good, man.
Because you're doing an activity, you're talking together, it's playful, it's fun.
Yes.
Mini golf's a good date.
You can get physical.
Right. You can get behind her and help her master her swing. So again, she kept cuddling me and kissing me. We then went to play basketball at a park nearby. It says we both played college basketball for the same school. Again, she was all over me. After we were done, I walked her back to her home, and she kept bumping into me. I made a move.
Stop right there. Stop right there.
Go ahead.
A woman bumping into you is very, very attracted to you. There is the bumping into you. It happened to me just on a date yesterday. Walking with this chick, she is all in my bubble, man. She is looking for me. Like, she put her arm in my arm. We were walking, and then her leg is all in my walking space, right? And I'm like, she's all in my bubble. She's invading my space. This is Corey Wayne 101. You can reciprocate what they do. And see, what's going on in her mind by her invading my space, by bumping into my legs and while I'm walking, is she wants me to invade her space.
Right.
So I have a little more free will. I knew this chick had high interest, but I have free will to get in where I fit in. And this is what she's doing. She's allowing you to let you know that you are allowed to do this to me, right? And she's not gonna just verbally say that to you. She's not gonna say, "Put your hands around my waist." Some women will.
Again, she's communicating covertly.
Correct. Some women will do that. I've had women who will verbally say it, and that's masculine energy, though.
Exactly. I don't like that. I don't like being commanded.
Right. Because if I'm not comfortable to do that right now, I'm not going to do it.
We gave you guys a whole lead up to this about being the captain.
Yeah.
Sailors don't come up to the captain and be, "Hey, captain, why don't you come over here and eat this? Try this out. Check this out over here. Captain, have you tried this new coffee?" No. Captain's in charge. Okay? Also, one of the ways, and by the way, Anthony, that's a phenomenal interpretation. You kind of gave me some things to think about. The way I would have interpreted it is, you're not touching me enough. I want to touch you, so I'm going to, initiate the touching. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to try to send you a signal. I want us to be touching.
Yeah.
So watch this playful stuff that I do. Also, you probably dominated her in basketball because men are better at sports than women are.
And please
and that
do
probably
it.
Turned
do
her
it,
on.
though. Don't let her win, fellas. This is very important on this.
God, no.
Don't allow a woman to beat you in something like that, and especially a physical sport like that. Play her as if she was Michael Jordan, damn it, because this is a test of dominance
while
too,
being
right?
playful.
Right.
Yeah, while being playful.
Very. Right. After you cross her up and take her to the hole, go ahead and pinch the booty. You know what I'm saying? D up, baby. You know what I'm saying? Don't I'll say this, because I used to do this. The reason I'm very passionate about it, because I used to let women beat me and stuff like that, right? Yeah. I would play softly, right?
Well, it's not because you're different, Anthony. We've been taught to do this dumb shit. That's why this show exists.
Yeah.
So we can teach you guys not to do this dumb shit that Walt Disney and everybody else is.
And she played basketball, right?
Oh,
she played basketball, and she was very, very masculine with me. Right?
We just got a direct message from Disney. God damn it! Disney says, please refrain from talking about us in your podcast when it comes to beating women. We didn't say beating in the sense of beating women. We didn't say that, man. We just said besting them in sports.
Okay.
Jesus Christ, man.
Okay.
It's such a PC world we're living in. Jesus. All right, I'm sorry.
Oh, a story. When I was in high school, it was a girl. She was on the basketball team, and she was she was good, right? But I was easily faster than her, stronger than her. But playing basketball, I'm like, well, I can beat you, but I'm not gonna beat you. I'm gonna let you do it. But as she was like scoring, her head was getting big, and then how she started treating me, she started grabbing me and pulling me to her to kiss her, right? So now she's aggressive because now she feels like she's more dominant than me because I let her beat me in basketball.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
so
now you know. You didn't know at the time.
Oh, I had no clue.
You probably thought it was great that she's grabbing you.
Clue.
Like, oh,
yeah.
hell yeah.
I'm like, yes. Yes, this is what I wanted. I let you beat me in basketball. You kiss me, right? No, it was her. Just like a dog.
Taking charge.
You think a dog is jumping on you. You think he's
he loves me. No, that dog thinks it's dominant over you.
Exactly.
That dog don't go over to the alpha dog and start jumping on it. We get fucking attacked.
Gonna get corrected.
It says we both played college basketball for the same school. Again, she was all over me. After we were done, I walked her back to her home, and she kept bumping into me. I made a move to grab her hand, and she gladly did the same. When we arrived, I kissed her goodbye and left. When I got home, I got a text from her saying she had a wonderful time.
Listen.
Okay, Bruno. Okay, bruh. Buddy, we need you to escalate here.
You've already been over there, so going back.
So you should be able to go inside.
Right.
Now, hold on. I want to defend Bruno here. You and I talk about this a lot. How we used to do this when it comes to dating. We had been taught by a feminine-centric society to be the good guy. Respect her. Yeah, she's going to like me because I'm the good guy. And when I'm the good guy, there's going to be all this vagina falling my way. No, that's not how it works.
No.
You need to escalate. But I think Bruno knows.
Yeah, he knows. He knows.
I think he knows.
I think this is one. If you're going back right to her place, hey, let's take a shower. Let's get this funk off of us.
Anthony, man, when we were doing the pre-show earlier and you said that, I was like, oh my God, that was a perfect idea, man.
I was like,
we just got done playing mini golf and basketball. We're all sweaty. Let's go get in the shower.
And let me wash my clothes here so I won't put on dirty clothes. Now you're there longer, at least an hour and a half. Now,
yeah.
Right? We have to do something with this time.
Right. Yeah, and it's kissed her goodbye and left. It seems like he was deliberately trying to be the nice guy.
Oh, yeah.
The reason I see it is because I used to do it.
Yeah.
We
all have, man. We were like,
she's going to know I'm one of the good ones.
I didn't go there.
Yeah, I respected her.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, women don't want to be respected when they want you physically.
And you got to think
They're
about
trying
this.
to signal to you that they want you physically.
When she's putting herself out there by doing all this.
Holding his hand, bumping him on purpose.
And you not
initiating
going forward,
contact. Yeah.
That's a rejection in her mind. Her subconscious is saying, girl, he just rejected us. And we was just, we was doing the most. I was twerking on him.
That's one way to look at it. I disagree. I think it's more of a, and again, this isn't a conscious thought, but subconsciously, she's thinking he's a boy, not a man. He doesn't know when to take control of his ship as a captain.
But it's still a rejection because if I put a food plate on the table for you and you look at it and you admire it and you walk away and you don't eat it, you rejected my food. Like you didn't.
The only reason I disagree is because he's so readily available. See how that comes back to haunt us? She doesn't feel rejected because she probably doesn't think that he's seen other women.
Okay, but if you sit at the table that I put the food on every time I put the table and you come to the table, that don't mean that you eating it.
Right.
You have to partake of the offer. And again, he didn't know. So I'm not really, but he read the book 3 times.
He didn't know. He's reaching out for coaching. That's exactly what you got to do,
yeah,
right?
He read the book 3 times. The hooking up part is part of it, right?
Right. But there's also a big piece of information to reveal later.
Yes.
So he got the text from her saying she had a wonderful time. Now, I'm going to read through the lines here. And I'm going to predict he texted back. And I bet we don't know what that text back was. Now, if she texted him, said, hey, have a wonderful time. And Bruno, feel free to correct us if that's not what happened. But boy, it is really tempting to send that text back the same night.
Yeah.
Okay, this is really important. And for those of you that read the book, this is a really big thing that you want to do in this situation. You do not want to respond to that text that night. You're going to get the I had a really good time text. And you're going to get it a lot. I mean, that's good. The date went good. You're not going to text back that night because you're busy. You're on your purpose. You're busy. You ain't got time to just be texting all willy-nilly to everybody. What you're going to do is when you don't respond, you're going to make her wonder, what's up? Now it's a mystery. Now the cat and mouse game has begun in the woman's mind. Okay? Now she's wondering, well, did he have a good time? Did he not have a good time? You don't believe me on this, fellas. You ever heard a bitch rant about how come you said you'd call and he didn't call? And then he said he was going to call and then he didn't call. I mean, you can just tell that woman ran around in circles in her fucking bedroom all night. Well, he said he was going to call me. He didn't call me. Well, he didn't call. Because when you see women get together and talk about he didn't call, they sit there and fucking talk about that for a goddamn hour. So this is what you want to start. You want to start her on this hamster wheel of, well, did he have a good time? Did he not? Now you're becoming mysterious.
Wait, is this all right? Something just crossed my mind. She's 18. They're on a college campus. I wonder if she's in the college dorm.
He said home. Now, and of course, even if at a home, parents could be there.
Yeah.
Student athlete though, she's probably in a dorm, right?
Yeah.
Student athletes are probably staying in a dorm,
and you know,
and usually you have dorm mates,
right?
Right.
And you probably have visitation limits.
Where do we want to err as we move forward with our advice? Do we want to err on the side of giving them the benefit of the doubt? And
I kind of do because I think that was a real easy transition to escalation that he wasn't able to take advantage of because there was a lot more physical.
I disagree.
You disagree with what?
I disagree that he couldn't take advantage and escalate. And here's why.
Well, I'm saying
because he could have walked her back to his place, and where he has control.
I don't know.
Set that up accordingly.
Yeah, if he chose to do that, or if she was done, I'm not sure. We would have to get Bruno's
more information,
take,
right?
I was kind of giving you an out on that one, Bruno, to see because I was just kind of thinking. I'm like, yeah, she's young, 18, college athlete. He probably wasn't able to get into the room.
The thing as we talk about the third date, the thing I'm really trying to get to is with everything that's happened on the first two, third date,
hookup time,
not having sex is weird.
Yeah.
Not having sex is weird.
Yeah. Third date is the expiration
because she's giving you all the signals that sex is happening on the third date. Anthony, 90% of in the year 2019, 2020, 90% of people are fucking on the third date.
Oh yeah,
it's the third date rule. You know, a lot of bitches have the third date rule. They feel like, well, if I wait till the third date, I'm not a hoe. I mean, it's just kind of a universal
I'm like some
thing.
people fucking after the third topic of the date, like.
And you've already had a great coffee date. You had some Netflix and chill. You had playing basketball where you get to show off yourself as an athlete with a sport she plays. Yeah. You know, so she to me that playing basketball, she is ready to fuck. Mm-hmm. I mean, she is ready to go. Okay, but let's keep going. He's gotten the text. It's a wonderful time. I bet Bruno texted back, by the way. Just from what I'm seeing so far. I bet he texted back.
Why
we'll
is
find
that
out.
highlighted?
I don't know. Maybe A Wonderful Time highlights itself.
That's a song or a movie or something?
No, it just says, when I got home, got a text saying from her she had a wonderful time. I'm not sure why wonderful time is in different colors.
Okay.
But anyways, about 4 days later, she texted me to ask me if I wanted to come over to her place to watch a basketball game on TV. Unfortunately, I couldn't because I was working that night, so I proposed we went ice skating later on the weekend, which she agreed to. A couple of days later, okay, let's stop there. That's fine, right? No errors there. Can't tonight, but I'm available at this other time. The only thing I would say, you're not available, but you don't always have to say why.
No.
I'm not available tonight, mystery.
Right.
I'm not available tonight because my parents want me to come over. You know what I'm saying? That's you could tighten up your game with that, Bruno. I'm sorry I'm not available tonight, and then don't tell them why. And then but he made other plans. Perfect use.
Yeah.
Perfect use. Oh, wait a second. No, it's not. This is all going on via text. Says she texted me to ask if I wanted to come over to the basketball game. Bruno, we don't set up dates via text, bud.
This is where I disagree.
I still like to respond to this text. I like to respond of, give me a sec, I'll give you a call.
Let's say this. Let's say you, in the moment, let's say you are fucking busy, man. And you're like, I got time for this text real quick. If I can't get in a conversation, I'll call her and say, hey, yeah, how was your day, whatever. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to the date that you confirm with her via text and have it on the phone and, like, follow it up with a phone call. But I've done plenty dates via text in this situation, and then followed it up with a phone call. But
I'm only going to argue, though, Anthony, you're a lot more advanced. I've just seen too many mess ups via text.
I see
don't
what you're
like
saying.
it.
You're saying
like
you don't want them to get comfortable with getting away with texting. I get you.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. Especially, you've only been on 3 dates.
Because I've shown you my text where I've set up dates via text.
Right.
So
but in those situations, using specifics, you knew what that person's schedule was. Like, you knew that they were at work. You know, and this is why I'm saying this, guys. Texting is a buffer. It's super easy to text because rejection doesn't feel as bad as it does when you're talking to somebody, or even worse, in person, when they reject you to your face.
I'm not afraid of rejection at all.
Yeah, and see, you're not afraid of rejection. You've got a lot more details to it. And yes, I have seen those text threads. You're 100% right, but I don't like. And we've only got 3rd dates. I bet if Bruno was being honest with us, he would say that there was more texting than this.
Probably.
I bet Bruno did not say to myself, she texted and said, "Hey, I had a wonderful time," and he just didn't reply. Because it's so tempting to be like, man, I'm feeling this energy between me and this girl. You know what? I had a wonderful time too. Yeah, it's time to stop playing games and start being real. No, seduction. You can't skip seduction.
Mystery.
You gotta be mysterious. Bruno, please feel free to reach out, but I don't want you setting up dates via text, especially where your skill level is at right now. Trust me when I tell you, you're going to sound a lot better over the phone. Now, but you don't want to ignore text either. So she's like, "Hey, do you want to come over and watch the game?" You can send a text back like, "Can you talk?" "Yes, I'll give you a call in a sec." And then, because another thing, Bruno, I want you to get comfortable setting up dates over the phone too. Again, skill.
Yeah.
Repetition, skill. Okay? That's where I'm at with Bruno right now. I'm not saying it can't be done, Anthony, but it's a lot more advanced game. Please at least give me that.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I said in context where, because I'm not gonna say I've gotten away with it. It's just.
No, it's a skill you developed over long periods of time.
And the reason I think I was able to develop it is because I did a lot of online dating. And a lot of that time, there's a lot of rapport building you have to do online versus in person. Because he knows her in person. He has her phone number. So talking to her on the phone isn't an excuse. You should be able to talk to her on the phone. I just... With the online, which most people are on, I'm going to say 75% of people are dating online.
But you also can't skip with online dating, and you'll agree with me on this. You also can't skip the 20-minute phone call you've got to have before you go on your first date.
Oh, of course.
So, I mean, the quicker you can get to that fucking phone call, the better.
Yeah. You're building rapport on text online, and that's probably a whole nother subject.
Yeah.
On his own.
But I just want our guys that are coming out the gates to not text. I don't want any of that.
Corey Wayne says the phone is for setting up dates, right?
Yeah. The truth serum is always this. Would you do it in sales? Would you text over? See, that's what I'm saying. It's always the truth serum.
But
I would much rather talk to them on the phone. Again, man, this is a skill that you have that you've honed over years, so I don't want you to tell our young guys that are just starting to do this.
Yeah, I just don't want them also to be and I say this: the hardcore concrete rule is this: pick up the phone and talk to them before you go on a date with them. Right? You said,
but he couldn't do that here. It couldn't be like, hey, you want to come watch the game? Then next thing you know, he's calling. That would be awkward.
Yeah,
because maybe she's texting because she can't talk.
Well,
my
thing. All right, so my thing is this though. They've already been on dates. I think this is about setting up your first few dates where you don't want to try to, because you'll get flaked on with text.
Right.
So pick up the phone. I agree with that. But to me, her interests are so high here.
I don't disagree. I
just don't think it was wrong to do it in that manner.
So we're kind of going through this chronologically. So I'm sure you forget the next part of the story. He says I couldn't because I was working that night. So I proposed we went ice skating later on the weekend, which she agreed to. A couple of days later, and this is what I'm talking about, Anthony. This is what I'm talking about. No texting. Because look what he did. A couple of days later, I followed her on Instagram, and she followed me back immediately. And he says, parentheses, he's kind of be like, man, this is probably subtle over pursuing there. Huh? No, it's not subtle over pursuing, goddammit. For real? Man, you had a really, really good thing going here. Like, she's like, by the way, just so we're clear, Bruno, she wanted to have sex.
Oh, yeah.
During the game, too. And again, we're not beating up on Bruno here. We've got some other information that's coming later that's really critical to this story. But pursuing her on social media is not only clingy, but you're putting yourself in the way of fire. What if you post something with another girl on there? Like, yeah, I guess it raises your SMV. I don't like giving women access to my social media until they're like a girlfriend or wife. I really don't. I don't know. That's probably impossible. Never mind, Anthony. But not after date 3. I don't like women being able to check up on me on social media. Like, when I was dating, I didn't want to, like, if I told a woman a white lie, and I'm like, no, I can't tonight because I'm going to the fucking Nutcracker. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, going to the Nutcracker. But then she sees me with my jiu-jitsu team, and we're hanging out at a bar. Like, hey, I thought you were going to... I'm like, well, bitch, I didn't know you had the ability to check up on me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's where my head's at. I don't want them to have, like, access to my life. Like, keep yourself out of the way of fire. I don't know, Anthony. I know you're a lot more, like, big on like friending up with people. You use a lot of social media to set up dates.
Yeah.
And get numbers and call and stuff like that.
It's a niche. I know.
I wanted to be off the grid with these hoes, man.
I know
I really did.
My friend. He called me that. He called me the internet pimp. I was like, man, because I just have a knack for being able to I guess create rapport.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people see what I do as far as cooking and stuff like that. So it's
this dude's interesting.
Yes,
Yeah.
It brings up conversation easy, and with cooking, saying I can cook and showing you I can cook is totally different, right?
Right.
So
and I've seen a lot of your photos. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff where you're showing off some of the food, some of the cooking, techniques you're using. And
right.
It's super interesting. I can see why you would use it.
But I think if this guy is
do you know what it feels like to me? Because you're not like this, but I am. A bitch goes to request to follow me on Instagram. This is what I think when this is talking about a girl doing it to me.
Okay.
It's the same feeling of like you go to your parents' house and the bitch is sitting there with your parents looking through an album or something. Hey, bitch, you can't just get in my life like this. That's how it feels to me. I feel like
over.
What the fuck, man? Like, why are you like in my life? And the other thing I don't like when someone requests to follow me on Instagram is like, now I got to make some fucking decision. I don't have my Instagram set up for this chick. Like, to like view, like I might have me with other girls on there.
You can reject her, man. You ain't gotta.
But now I gotta have a conversation about why did I reject her, and it creates a whole fucking thing I don't want to deal with. You know what I mean? I just don't. The only thing worse would have been a Facebook request, because Instagram is the next level over. To me, Twitter wouldn't be as bad. A follow on Twitter,
yeah.
But other than Facebook, Instagram's your most personal shit.
You're on that level with me yet. I would love
confidently. Yeah, you would have to confidently.
I would love for you to follow me on that, but you're not on my level. I got a lot of personal things on there, and until you're on that level with me where I can trust you, I wouldn't put you on that yet.
Yeah, well, I'm just like, it just that record skip moment. You know what I mean? I get a request from Sally that I went out with last Tuesday. Whoop, and I'm like, God damn it. Why the bitch want to fucking, like, we ain't like that yet. Why you all up, like, now you, like, see a picture of me and my parents? And, like, you know what I'm saying? It's too close. I don't like it.
Let me tell you.
Hopefully Bruno realizes she may have felt like this a little bit. Like, hey, man, it's my personal shit on Instagram. Why you want to follow me?
You see my social media. I got pictures with me and females, right? And
yeah, but you have built your shit purposely.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I haven't.
Okay.
I didn't build my shit perfectly for dating like you have.
Okay.
Every time you're posting, motherfucker, you like have that in mind.
Yeah.
You're probably combing through your shit like, oh, I like this.
Yeah.
This makes me look cool as fuck. Like
100.
My shit will be like personal shit that I don't want to take down because I like the photo, but it's me graduating college and I've got my niece and like, bitch, I don't want you in my personal shit. Me holding on to my niece, man. Come on, man, back off. What the fuck? So, also, you going to follow her on Instagram, it lets her know instead of you living your purpose, hanging out with other women, having fun, hooking up, you're thinking about her when she's not there. So, Bruno, I love this because you do so many things right, but then you just do some little subtle things wrong that mess up all the work that you did.
That's very important what you said, man. Women don't miss you, and this is, and you can just call it what it is. I don't care what you call it, but if you are thinking about her, she's not missing you because you're already putting energy out there about her. Like this follow on Instagram or whatever it was. It
was Instagram.
You are putting energy out there that you are already thinking about her. She don't have to worry about you.
Yeah, she doesn't have to
knows.
worry whether or not you're thinking about
Right.
her, you want to be with her. It's in. By the way, that's her personal shit. Again, women are probably not like Anthony over here, like architecting their Instagram just for like the dating game and making it part of their game and shit. There could be pictures up there with, holding her little baby sister and like, and what are you going to do now? You going to come on there? Oh, cute baby.
Right.
Motherfucker, get on your purpose. Get out of my Instagram.
And then look, this is what you do. You get on the Instagram and you're tempted hard to like
that
all
like button's
those
going to get you in trouble.
That
like button's going to get you in trouble, Anthony.
You look stalker as fuck, right? Like this. And you're like, she's going to appreciate me liking these photos.
Bruno, I want to ask you a direct question right now. Was there, during this process, and be honest, because Bruno, we're all having fun here. And by the way, this is, especially if you only read the book 3 times at this point, we haven't even finished it yet. I think you're doing pretty damn good. But Bruno, I want you to be honest. I want to ask you this question. During this part, when you went to follow her on Instagram, was there a part of you that was like, yeah, you know what? Screw all these games. I'm tired of playing these games. I've met a person that I really, really click with. Yeah, screw these games. This happens. The reason I'm asking, Bruno, is not because I'm picking on you. This happens to a lot of us. Like when things are just super easy, you're in a situation just like this where there's so much high interest, and you think you can start skipping seduction.
Yeah.
And you can't.
Yeah.
All right, let's continue. He says, a couple days later, I followed her on Instagram, and she followed me back immediately. Probably subtle over pursuing there. I also want to point out, she followed you back immediately, and she may have seen some things on there she did not vibe with. Okay? But you left yourself open to that, didn't you? You probably didn't architect your whole Instagram like Anthony here does to make it part of your whole dating strategy.
Watch I got inboxes to like, hey, can I see your Instagram?
For sure. I'm sure Anthony will be happy to share it with you guys. And it says, and then the next day I got the damn, I'm not ready for a relationship speech. Of course, my response was, I'm still open to see you, so give me a call if you change your mind. Been in no contact ever since, and dated other women too. Okay, so let's back up because we got a lot. We got some bad and we got some good. So, Bruno, I love you, bud, and you do a lot of good things here. Doesn't make sense that it went from Instagram follow
to
mistake
I don't want to be your girlfriend.
I don't want to be in a relationship. I think we, as well as you have written this, I think some of the story was left out.
Yeah, it's a big gap.
Something happened where, I don't know if you guys had a drunk moment. Maybe you guys don't drink. I don't know. Something happened to make her feel like you wanted a relationship. Something happened. And I think it's more than an Instagram follow because she went really quickly to specific wording, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she was...
I thought about that when I was seeing it. I was like, man, look, I'm going to reread it because I must have missed something. And a lot of times what you were saying is like, the next step of social media follow is like too big of a step for you personally, right? I thought that was that for her. Like, hey, look, this is getting to where this is my personal life. Where now you're jumping in. So I thought it was more like a soft, you know how they talk covertly, right? Like it was like, hey, this is like you're like almost proposing something to me now that you're in my social media life. So I thought it was something along those lines, but I think you're right. I think there's something missing. I think there's something there that we're not privy to.
Now, let me help you, Bruno. Okay? Because remember, we got to keep things light. Now, I can tell you've read the book because your response was, I'm still open to see you, so give me a call if you change your mind. Okay? I can tell you've read the book, but let me help you. You got a little too heavy there.
Yeah.
You got a little too heavy. Remember, keep things light. My response would have been like, cool story, bro. So are we still ice skating this weekend, or like, what's going? Like, all right, cool.
Right.
No relationship. So are we still ice skating this weekend? And then you've got a savable situation. And keep in mind, this sounds like a good fuck buddy situation. Either way,
I think she was very, very open to being the what did Corey used to call it, the horizontal something. It was funny.
Horizontal mumbo. No,
yeah,
that doesn't make
something,
sense.
man. It was funny.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean the indoor Olympics.
Yeah. That's another one.
That response was a little heavy, so we can help you with that. Just when they hit you with not looking for a relationship, cool. So we still on this weekend? Little
That's
joke.
Is that a shit test right there, or is that a pushback?
We don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, because that could totally be a shit test. Like, how's he gonna react?
And was it text? Because we don't know tone.
Right.
You know what I mean? Man. There's so many. You can see how many different angles this can have,
and you also see where text can get you in trouble.
Yes,
there's no subtlety to it.
Right.
I don't think she would have been brave enough to say this to his face.
No.
And then they could have just continued dating and stuff like that. Text to me, again, Anthony, you've mastered it. But text to me is just. I'll use your analogy.
Okay.
If your car, your make model of car, if every time you went to start it, there was a 50% chance that it could just explode, you would never get in that fucking car.
Now you gave me Truth Serum.
You would never drive that car.
No.
I'm telling you, that's what text can do for you. I mean,
blow up in your face.
Yeah, you're going to have to practice your texting stuff on women that, are lower value to you. And I want you to see the pitfalls of it, because even with 5s and 6s, you can text. And here's the thing that Anthony taught me, and I can't believe Anthony's so high on texting, after you taught me the most important thing about texting that I ever heard from anybody or read.
Yeah.
I never even read this in Corey Wayne's or anybody's book. Let me tell you why texting's bad, guys. When you send out a text, well, let me back up. When you're talking in person, it's this fluid thing where you can use charm, you can use eye contact, you can use facial expression, especially if you're on like iPhone video chat and stuff like that. There's a lot of things you can do. So the more you can make it like it's in person, the better. Now, if you're just on the phone, it's obviously just your voice. But the big thing, and this is what Anthony taught me, the big difference between text and talking is they don't have 4 or 5 hours to sit around and think about how they're going to answer and deliberate, especially if this is a chick that you're trying to make more cohesively habitat with you.
Yeah.
Cohesively cohabitat. That's
I know
women don't like when I use the word train, but you're trying to show a woman how to cohesively cohabitat with you, and you don't want to send a text off and then now give them 3-4 fucking hours to decide what the fuck they're going to say. Okay.
Now you anxious. But I knew you was going to go there. But
similarly, he opened the floodgates of texting.
Yeah.
And now he just got rejected via text. Like, this is why I hate texting, man.
Yeah. Because
I hate it.
People do not want to reject you verbally, right? Or especially face-to-face. It's hard to reject someone face-to-face. So it's easy. It's easy on text. Like, we both been in sales, so we know that if we will just show up at a client's workplace or site, because he's not going to tell me the shoe go away like that if I show up at his spot. But if I call him and say, hey, man, I want to come see you, it's easy for him to say no. So this is that's the reasoning, and I agree. If you're new to this, don't text. It can easily blow up in your face, and if you're not as adverse, or I would say if you're not as if you haven't mastered, your communication skills via text, definitely don't do it, because a lot of times too, you get caught up in it, and you, like you said, you're creating a open door that texting is okay. You let her know, and then
you got rejected via text because texting is just what we do, dog.
Yeah. So texting isn't okay. Definitely, I want to say the first 5 years of this, do not text.
Right?
Okay.
Now, since this is called the basketball coaching segment,
okay,
I want to point out to Bruno, because he'll definitely understand this. You got the text, "I'm not ready for a relationship," right? Or I don't know. He says that it says that, and then the next day I got the "damn, I'm not ready for a relationship" speech. I don't know if it was via text or not. It sounds like text because he responds very specifically, "I'm still open to see you, so give me a call if you change your mind." It seems very
right, because you're not
not
gonna say that in person.
Right. That doesn't seem like something you say in person. It also doesn't sound like something a woman would say in person, unless they're brave. She's a student athlete, so she might be a bit of a stronger.
But she seemed very feminine while she was with him.
100%. So it doesn't seem like something she'd say in person. We could be wrong, Bruno. So sorry if we're beating you up on this. But I would like to say that since you understand basketball terms, before you got the text, "I'm not ready for a relationship," you still had time left on the clock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Until you got that, you're still in the game, baby. Yeah. And anything can happen as long as you got the ball in your hands and you got some time left on the clock. No buzzer yet. But once they give you the "I'm not ready for the relationship," now oh shit. Down by 15. Down by 15. That's it. Fuck.
I don't think he was out of the game right there. I think he could have reversed it, but
he's still in the series. He's still in the series. He lost the game.
He was like, that game over, but I'm gonna have to come back in. But I really think that there's some parts missing from this particular part of the story, because it was so abrupt after this high interest, and then it's like off the cliff, right? Mm-hmm. So there's something missing there for me. And maybe
I do think the Instagram's a big part of it.
Maybe, yeah.
You're trying to get a little too much into her life.
Yeah, it's an over pursuit move. I always let them. I never ask for Instagrams or none of that. I may investigate and see if I can find it, right? But I'm not going to friends, follow, or none of that stuff, because I want her to pursue me in that way, and if I'm comfortable enough with her, then I'll allow it.
Yeah.
But if I'm not,
but you've already made the whole bed that they can jump right into on your social media.
Yeah.
I don't think Bruno did that.
I don't think a lot of guys did.
No.
Yeah.
And I'm here to tell you, I never did. My Instagram, and you know what? This is my truth. My Instagram's for me. That's my personal shit. These are my friends. I'm not going to give you a doorway into my personal life and all my friends. And sorry, you have not earned that. Now, I agree with what you're doing. I think it's a great tool, the way you're using it. But I just didn't want to do it. It was my personal shit. And, neither of us are right or wrong here. But I'm sure Bruno did not have his social media set up. I think he was trying to get a little closer. He's trying to skip steps.
Yeah, you said that she may have seen something that she didn't like. And
could be.
That was a killer, and he did it to himself, right? So
yeah, but I also don't want Bruno to get obsessed over the details here. There's a lot of mistakes.
No, yeah. There's always a lot of little things. It's not one big thing, right?
Well, in this case, because he's a quick study. He did a pretty damn good job. Now he says he's been in no contact ever since and dated other women. Good. She did start to like my posts on Facebook, But that's pretty much it. Also, I never brought up the topic of a relationship. Now this girl had only, and this is where it gets interesting, everybody. We told you there was more to this. Now this girl had only one boyfriend in the past, and he pretty much locked her down to a commitment after meeting her one time! ! She was probably on the rebound too. Let me stop there. First of all, don't worry about no damn rebounds. Rebounds, guys, that's movie talk anyways. Stop with the rebounds. And I get it, Bruno, you're a basketball player. But so I get the verbiage, but guys, the rebound stuff, that shit don't matter to women. But I want to point out, so this girl only had one boyfriend in the past. Let me stop there first. She's looking to explore physically. She's probably trying to explore with you.
Wait. Before you go over that, you said rebound don't matter to a woman, but if I'm asking you, are you trying to get in a relationship when a woman just got out of one?
No, and I know where you're going because you and I have talked about this a lot. Yeah. Now, but Anthony, what you're talking about is some very advanced vetting.
Okay.
Yeah, I know Bruno's not ready for what you're talking about. Okay. I mean, again, guys, you guys got to understand, Anthony has not only been doing this for years, Anthony's doing this live. Like, he's still actively dating. I'm the guy I can give you your good relationship advice because that's my life right now. I still remember dating, but you're going to get all your best live stuff from Anthony. So when we disagree, probably smart to take Anthony's side because he's the one dating still. But it says, now this girl's only had one boyfriend in the past. That kind of makes me think, Bruno, she's looking to explore physically. She's really, really trying to get out there. Or she wasn't completely honest.
She's definitely wanting to explore. She's in college now. She's getting bogged down by one guy. You think she's ready to be bogged down by another guy?
Such a good take, Anthony. Yeah.
No. So, yeah.
Such a good take.
And you were an older guy. So, and that's probably her vibe. She probably wanted to be like, okay, I can get older guys now the whole world is opening to me. You were there to have fun, hang out, hook up. That was all your goals right there. That's it.
That's all your goals.
Rinse and repeat.
Yeah. Don't be chasing her down on social media. Don't be texting. I mean, we all know. I mean, because you were home free. You were on third date. She was pursuing you.
Yeah.
You didn't need to pursue at all. All you had to do was set dates. By the way, you did that really well a couple times.
Yeah.
So I digress. Let me finish this out because this is a really, really important part. And he pretty much locked her down after meeting her one time. Don't worry about that, Bruno. So Bruno was comparing himself to the guy, right?
Because he heard that story, and he was like, "Why she don't want me? She's giving me all this positive energy, but now she's not into me."
So
like
that's how he's feeling afterwards. But I also think that when he heard this story, he was like, "Challenge accepted. I'm gonna lock her down after one time too." And so when it didn't happen, he's still thinking about it afterwards.
Yes, he's wrote a whole fucking story about
Bruno,
it, right?
Jesus Christ, man. You're a student athlete. You're in college. You ain't got to slow down for one chick, man. Nah. Now, well, let me finish out because this is the really important...
This is the one that got away. This is
the really important part. Yeah, and we don't subscribe to any of that shit around here. And he pretty much locked her down after meeting her one time. Probably was on the rebound, too. Sorry for the long post, guys. Don't have to apologize. Nope. I thought it was a great detail.
Great post.
Yeah, but this woman was something to me, and I would appreciate feedback from my fellow 3%ers. Thanks. I thought there was something here that implied perhaps Bruno had never been with anybody in the past.
I think it was later in the comments.
Later in the comments.
Yeah. Comment section. I think you read it after you read my response.
Okay.
And then it came, I think, because I had said something.
Yes.
And he responded
so Anthony
to it.
comes in, and these comments are pretty good. Let me read the first comment first, and I won't point out the name. I'm not trying to dog on anybody. It says, if she is liking your post, she will contact you sooner or later. Do not reach out. Keep in mind she is 18. She is at that age of exploration. Hang back. She will contact you when she does. Set a date and stay off the phone. Okay. And he says phones for setting dates. So I want to critique this comment because this is what we talked about in the first part of the program. If she's liking your post, she's gonna reach out to you, man. Trust the system. And we're feeling warm and fuzzy. And in that moment, I'm sure Bruno's like, he's probably right. Yeah. Let me tell you, Bruno. Her liking your post don't mean a goddamn thing.
Nope.
So don't get
it's
your
just a like.
And guys, and I'm not going to mention this person's name. You know who you are. This is what we need to steer clear of. Just warm and fuzzy, make people feel good. Because then we can't trust when people do say positive things about us, and it throws off our what? Our self-worth, right? And we can't accomplish goals unless we have a strong self-worth. So the person that left that comment, I want you to keep that in mind. You were kind of blowing smoke there and being super positive. No, man. Her liking the post don't mean a goddamn thing. She might fall off the earth and meet some dude and marry them tomorrow. It don't fucking matter, man. So please, guys, we can't predict the future, okay? So let's go to Anthony's comment here. Anthony says, this is experience now. Love that. Because, yeah, I mean, how much did he learn from this? This is great experience.
So much.
You know what you did wrong and got away with it, but why not hook up when her interest was high? We all lost some pussy along the way, but you still talking about this lets me know you will make excuses for this chick because you see her at a higher value than you see yourself. Keep working on yourself, and if the universe agrees, she will see you again and chase you. Now, there's a lot to unpack there, but let me say what Bruno says first. He says, well, I'm a virgin. Okay, and that illuminates a lot, right?
That changed the whole story for me.
And I also think it took a lot of courage to say that. I really have a lot of admiration for Bruno to be courageous enough to admit that, especially in this group.
Yeah.
He says, well, I'm a virgin and never been in a serious relationship and pretty sure she was a virgin too. Bruno, I think she either was with the other boyfriend but maybe not, or she was trying not to be a virgin and she really wanted to, like you said, go away to college, explore, being physical.
And she chose an older guy.
Right.
Typically they have more experience.
Right. And it says, when we were watching the movie, I did try to see if I could push things a little bit further, but she stopped me. So we just kept kissing for a while. Okay, Bruno, remember, and this isn't Corey Wayne, this isn't me, but I agree with it. No means no for now. Right. So whatever you were pursuing, try it again in 20 minutes and then kind of gauge where it's going. If she is just like, shut this shit down.
Negan on your
like she went Negan on you. You got to be like, all right, not going to try that again for 35 minutes. Remember, things are escalating. She's getting more and more turned on. Right. She starts with resisting you, and it becomes this thing
it's a
internally.
Game, yeah.
In her head, was like, oh, I just can't. I shouldn't.
Right.
No, but I want to. But I can't. But I want to. And and this is the kind of shit that's very, very sexy for women. Again, I thought it took a lot of courage for Bruno to admit he's a virgin.
Now
that illuminates a lot from that story, doesn't it?
Yo, definitely. He has more game than I had as a virgin. Because
no shit, man. Like he was doing
a
lot of right shit.
Right. None of you guys was doing what he did as a virgin. I promise you.
Yeah.
He did a lot of great things, and that's why the kissing part for him was probably more elevated the more you get to kiss. Because I remember when kissing women for me was big, even when it was just like, French kissing and learning how to grab her hair, the back of her hair, in the back of her head, right? Just holding their face and being, more forceful and, just things like I learned like techniques along the way to kind of help progress forward and get them more in the mood. Kissing and licking the ears type of stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Where you're just when you're kissing them in that way, you're listening to their breathe and they start to breathe faster and heavier. They're getting turned on a lot, and that's when you can start escalating at another level.
And to to go into specifics, because I think this would be helpful to Bruno. When you get shut down in certain areas, because when he says he tried to escalate things, but she stopped him.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he's going in the pants.
I'm not sure.
Or he's trying to go up the shirt. You have some other techniques involved.
Right.
You can start kissing the stomach.
Yes.
And then things start to open up where they weren't opened up before.
What do you do when you get shut down? What's a technique that you would do after you, like, let's say you go, you put your hand on the breast. She don't stop you, right? And this is over the shirt. Mm-hmm. Or I'll say it for me.
No. I like this. Okay. I like this because you're getting my answer on the fly, right?
Okay.
So give me a. So I already have the hand on the breast.
You got the hand on the breast. She hasn't got. She's still into it. She's kissing, whatever. And then you go under. Mm-hmm. You go under her shirt. Under the shirt.
Got you.
Right. And then there's still no flinching, no change.
Right.
But then
you have to go up and then over the bra.
Bra, right, and inside.
Yeah.
Now, again, let's say no change.
Right.
She's even getting more into it because at this point, it's just breasts.
Right.
Now, you're like, cool, but if you go straight, let's say you say that, well, she let me get in the bra, let me get down to the panties.
Well, hold on. But I've got specifics
there.
But I've got specifics there.
Okay.
So if I'm hands in the bra, then that is my next move is to now start kissing, and as kissing, we're laying her back now on the couch.
See, exactly.
So we now get her laid down. So
I like that you said that because I was saying this. If you're a virgin, right, either you're moving too slow, right, because you're nervous about what to do next, or don't know how to get to the next position or the next escalation phase, and you're like, well, I know where the pussy at, so I'm just going to go there real quick.
Right.
So now you're skipping the seduction.
Right.
And you're not getting her more involved because women like to feel their whole body involved into what they're doing because they're mentally imagining everything that you're doing to them, the touch and all that. Wesley said something to me I didn't even fucking realize, but he was talking about how girls in his high school was reading all these fucking romantic novels, and I was like, I remember that shit, but I didn't think people actually read that shit. But he was like, that's like the number one fucking thing, the number one book read is romantic novels, and these women have these ideas in the head. Now, man, if you're not sure what women are thinking in their head, read a romantic novel and you'll see all the details that they go to, how he's caressing her body, how he's breathing, how he's caressing her breast, and
oh man,
so they go so details where her skin is the fucking goosebumps are raising up on the skin.
Yeah,
everything, all the details are there. So this shows you how
all you have to do is go into a Barnes and Noble, just pull one off the shelf.
Yeah, pull one off the shelf.
And just read a love scene. And that's all you got to do. You can be like, wow, this is how a woman's mind works, huh?
Yeah.
Shit, you know.
Yeah. So that way you can say, okay, and for me, man, I mean, having sex to me is enjoyable because everybody's different, and there's an exploration process into it where you get to find out this chick's buttons the way this chick gets turned on, right? So, you know, that I love that part of the process. I love that make-out session where I get to escalate and I get to learn how she... Now, some things are just commonalities, and there are other things that just, like, that don't do it for her. Like, I know some chicks, you kiss them on the neck and they can't... The panties dropping.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's just... Certain people have certain spots and certain ways that you can turn them on, and that's the fun part for me. You know, which button is the right button here? But being a virgin, man, and you knocked out all those things, and you had the right conversations, you just pursued at the wrong time. You pursued online, but you didn't pursue them panties when she had them the high interest. So, you know, that was more of a kind of passive aggressiveness where you was like, and you probably was like, man,
he's probably scared too.
I
mean, he's never done it before.
I almost had it. Maybe if I follow her on social media, that'll do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
well, no, he's doing that thing that a lot of us virgins did. We learned a lot of our shit through movies. And movies has always got a romantic story and boy meets girl and then they're stuck on each other and yada, 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 yada. Right? And it's one of those things where it's like he was, like many of us, taught the wrong shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I want to go through where you were sharing some real knowledge with him here. It says, this is experience now, which it is. You know what you did wrong and you got away with it, but why not hook up with her when you had a high interest, which you just explained? This is the part I really want to highlight, and a second part as well. But first, we all lost some pussy along the way, but you still talk. And let me just stop there. We all lost some pussy along the way. Bruno, this is what experience is. Now, you're going to love when you do things right, and that's great. And you did a lot of things right. I think we pointed out, I don't think we missed much. We've really dissected this. But let me tell you, when you're getting down the skill of dating, seduction, you're gonna always feel good when you do a lot of right shit. But you know what you're gonna learn the most from? When you fuck up. When you fuck it up and you fumble the football right there on the 1 yard line, you almost had it home.
Damn, that hurt.
So Anthony's opening statement, this is experience now. This is a great experience. I mean, this is a very, very detailed account. Men will sit around for years and they'll think about those hot chicks that they fumbled the ball on the 1 yard line with. But let me tell you, my friend, it was super important for that to happen because that's what makes guys good. Mm-hmm. That is what you dealt with on this date, because there's a lot of comments here where the meatball thing, like I said, I used to subscribe to. Yeah. Man, fuck her, bro. And nobody went that far, but that was the sentiment. Like, you're thinking about her too much, bro. Listen, Bruno, after reading this, you should be thinking about this chick. You guys had so much in common. You had instant chemistry. We've all had those dates where you just have instant chemistry. My wife and I were like that. I mean, it was the first fucking date. Instant chemistry. But Bruno, here's the light at the end of the tunnel for you, my friend. When I met my wife, it's very similar. I mean, like, you guys played basketball together. You were going to have that in common the rest of your life. If you'd have gotten married, had kids, the kids would have been ballers. And I mean, this was a great experience. But the light at the end of the tunnel is this. I fucked up enough, like you did on this date, and learned some very, very important things. So by the time I met my wife and had that perfect chemistry on the date, I was ready. Bruno, you were a basketball player, brother. I mean, you sit down at that 3-point line and you shoot from every single spot out there. You just eventually get that confidence. Like, when it comes to this spot on the 3-point line, I can't fucking miss, man. Unless that dude's just like right jumping up in my face and fouls me, like I can't miss from there. That's where you're going to be, brother. That's where you're going to be, is you're going to have that untouchable Kobe Bryant confidence of like, I'm Black Mamba when it comes to dating, ho. Like, once I have chemistry like that again, I will not fuck this up.
Right.
And let me tell you what pitfall not to fall into. Anthony talks about it in this comment. I want you to pay close attention to this. He says, but you still talking about this girl lets me know you will make excuses for her. You will make excuses for her if she comes back around. Keep working on yourself. Focus on that, and the universe will bring the two of you together again. That's important. Bruno, because I agree with our person that says she's probably going to come back around. There was such a good connection. They had so much in common.
Yeah.
I do think after this dies down a little bit, and Bruno, It could be 6 months, man. So don't sit around counting the days. Live your life. Like you said, you've already been on a few other dates, right? But 6 months from now, she may not reach out. Anthony just dropped you some really important knowledge. She doesn't get credit for dating you in the past. She starts all the way over, back at square one.
Yep.
She doesn't get access to you. This is why I hate that you're on Instagram together. Like, she just gets to be on your Instagram now. She's somebody that kind of dissed you. Now she just has access to your fucking Instagram. I don't like that. Again, Anthony has a differing opinion on this, but I don't like that, like, now I'm going to see shit come up on her feed. She's going to be seeing my feed.
Instagram is an easy unfollow. You don't have to, you're not caught, like, you're not, like, posting things every day, really, on Instagram. It's kind of, unless that's how your Instagram works. Mine is totally different.
She's following you.
Yeah.
Well, you got to block her, which means
you have to.
She's on his mind,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I for your situation, yeah, it was a bad move. Definitely, this is what I say all the time. People have to earn their way into my life. Like, I don't just give free access just because. I don't let my emotions, right? I don't let my wants. I don't want the fantasy in my head to make decisions for me. She has to earn her way into me, and not me give up my freedoms, because if you're worried about somebody on your social media now, you can't be free on your own social media. How you live your life like that, right?
Yes.
So definitely be more selective about things like that in the future. And I think, and I'm not sure, I think he said, and I don't know what the difference as far as the time is, because he said that he read the book 10 times now, right? So there's some time that it takes time to read that book. That's not just a quick.
That's not a quick read.
No. So there's been some time that's passed. So women will go away, but they tend to not forget, like, those type of connections that you had, because you took her out on several different dates to experience different things, right? There are guys that are not doing that didn't do the things that you're doing. So she's gonna remember you. But the next time, though, I know you know what you have to do. So again, this is about her earning this. Now, this is where, when me and Corey Wayne kind of go separate directions, and I take a more AMS approach, because if you come back, you gotta suck a whole lot of dick. Like, there's no earning your way back without, committing to where you're pursuing me. Because if you're coming back, you're pursuing me now. I'm not pursuing you. You have to earn your way back to interrupting my life, where I have to start rearranging shit to include you back in mine.
Now, let me ask you a question, Anthony. Would you push Bruno to the famous Corey Wayne video, How to Get an Ex Back?
No.
And go that route where she's got to come to your place?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, this isn't
definitely
one of his exes.
Yeah.
He gives you that technique.
Right.
Of where she's got to come to your place. She's got to bring a bottle of wine.
I've stolen that. I've used that from Corey multiple times, and it works, fellas. It's definitely easy to verbalize, and for whatever reason, that's some magic shit, because I haven't had a woman tell me no about that. Like, bring something. Don't just come over. You're not coming over here for free. Bring a fucking chicken. I'll cook the chicken, and I'll have all the rest of the fixings and shit here, and a bottle of wine, and we'll catch up and talk about basketball or some shit, right? So I'm totally not against her coming back, but again, she has to earn her way back, and there's no not not escalating, right? You're not coming here. You're not coming to my place for a conversation only, right? So, yeah, be in my have. And I don't know if you're still a virgin now. Is he still? He said he's still a virgin, right?
Yes.
Okay, so he's still a virgin. So, I'm not sure what your morals are as far as like.
I was going to say I don't know if this is a religious.
Right. So I don't know about that, but at your age, women are going. You probably, if you don't have sex, you're probably going to have to say something about that. Yeah, because you're a good looking dude, man. So it's not. You're going to have women be like, "Wait, you don't want to have sex with me?" So
and Bruno, I'm sorry to tell you, bud. That's a thing. Like they're going to see you as an athlete. You know, they're going to see you as a guy that they're going to assume is going to take control, going to be an alpha,
right?
Because you probably look like an alpha out there on the basketball court. You know, they're like, oh shit. I mean, that's what athletics looks like to women.
Yeah,
Bruno. I'm sure you know
dunking
that.
the ball, man. Yeah,
yeah. We're going through Bruno's pictures. Like, you know, like Anthony said, handsome dude. He's over here dunking and stuff. He's not going to have any problems. But Bruno, we do need you to take the next step. You either need to. I mean, again, we'd have to have specifics. We don't know if oral sex is okay with you.
Confidence is very key, and being a
virgin. If he has a religious belief,
then
that's his
different.
But that's his true self.
Yeah.
Hey, man, more power to you.
Still be alpha and a virgin.
But you can still be alpha and be like,
right.
Yeah, man, girl. I mean, you can come over here and go down on me or whatever,
right? And
maybe we can go down on you. I don't know what his specifics are.
Yeah.
But being a virgin, that's what I'm doing. That's my life. Be gone. If you don't like it, be gone, bitch. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, but own it. Look them in the face and believe it. You know, Bruno. As an overall synopsis, I don't know how you feel about this, Anthony, but Bruno's going places, brother.
Oh, yeah, man. I see it.
I was very impressed with only having read the book 3 times. I was very impressed with a lot of the right things.
Yeah, he did his thing.
But, Anthony, you and I are the same. We've been going through this, believe it or not, I think we've been going over this date for an hour and a half. But it's because we care.
Yeah, it was a lot of good things he did, and it was a lot of mistakes, right? So we don't want, and I consider myself very thorough, right? I didn't.
But you have to be. I mean, do you see the shit we went there? I mean, if we counted the mistakes, it was like 5,
right?
And he did like 25 things correct.
Right.
But like 5. I mean, it wasn't.
And it
wasn't bad, but it was important, wasn't it?
Right.
It gave us the end result that we did not want. Right.
Yeah. And yeah. We'll conclude this segment by I wanted to touch a couple of things because.
Are we going on to our next segment, Anthony?
No, I wanted to kind of
wrap it up
on this. Yeah. Because when I first read this story, I kind of got the idea that maybe she was just not ready for a relationship, and how that fucked with our egos, right? Because remember in his story, he was like, well, the other guy got a commitment right away after one day.
And he measured himself against that. Bruno, buddy, we don't know what her situation was. We don't know what situation they were in.
But he made it about himself at that point. Yeah.
Nothing to do with you, bro.
Yeah.
It's nothing to feel good or bad about. It has nothing to do with you. You see what I'm saying? The only common denominator is her. and women change their mind all the time.
One thing Cora Wayne says a lot too, man, how women fall in love slower than we do, right? Because we visually see what we want, and we're like, hey, yeah, that's what I want. I want to go after it. But for her, she had to hear the right things, see the right things, feel the right things. And, yeah, she had high interest in Yeah, everything was fine, but then it's like you came on even more stronger instead of just allowing it to come up. When a flower is opening, like it's starting to open, you can't go in.
Don't hit it with a fire hose.
Open your petals, bitch. You can't
get that flower some water.
Throw a heat lamp on top of it. Open, bitch. No, it's not gonna just, fucking fly open. It's gonna slowly open. And guess what happens with a rose petal that your ass went to sleep. You forgot about the rosebud, and now it is flowered open. It is like spread out, and you're like, damn, I didn't even see that rose open. And that's how it is with women. They're gonna slowly open. It's gonna be with you not even watching it. We're not watching water boil. We walk away and we wait to see signs to see that the water is fucking boiling.
Our man here, that is the great cook.
I'm gonna use the analogy
with such a great analogy. You don't sit there and watch water boil. That's such Anthony. I mean, I don't think you can say it any better than that. I'm serious, man. You don't sit there and watch water boil. You turn on the heat. You walk the fuck away. That is such a good analogy. What else do you have for Bruno?
I had got some questions in my inbox about it. When we was discussing it.
From Bruno or
not from Bruno, but because there was several people talking about this topic, and for whatever, I guess because I opened myself up to conversation, it happened. But somebody asked me, well, why does she show high interest and then ghost? Right? That was the question. So I was like, that's a valid question.
Do you want me to go first on this one?
Sure, go ahead.
Why does she have high interest and then ghost?
Mm-hmm.
All right. The first real obvious one is you don't know what's going on in her life.
You don't know her.
Yeah. Fellas, there have been so many times where a girl has just been into me. There's been great chemistry. And I'm walking around like cocky as fuck, huge ego, thinking I'm the only dude in the picture. Guys.
We all do that. We all make that mistake.
I want to give you what I coined the rule of 3. Okay? If you are just, man, you have amazing chemistry, and she is into you, and she's showing high interest, and she's texting you and stuff like that, it's probably true. And I think in this case it was true too. So if you're the only one and you really, really feel it, multiply that times 3.
Mm-hmm.
Then that's how many guys are on the scene. If you think it might be you and one other guy, multiply that times 3. There's 6. And I'm telling
5.
you guys, it didn't mean she's sleeping with 6 guys.
Right.
But those guys are orbiting her. And they're coming in and out of the DMs. One guy is dating down for her, and he's best friends with Drake and drives a Lambo, and he hits her up every now and then. That's one of her 6. Then there's 3 completely desperate guys that are just, hey, what's up, friend? And they're giving her all the validation, making her feel great. Then there's you. Then there's the guy you think is around. I'm telling you guys, the rule of 3, and you'll remember it because we're all talking about Corey Wayne's book, How to Be a 3% Man. If you think you're the only one, multiply that times 3. So to answer the question, like, why does she show high interest? Then she ghosts. There's 3 orbiters, including yourself.
I'll give you a real life scenario. I just knew this chick was into me, man. It was like, I've never ever experienced this chick just like, we meet, we hit it off well. I think we had like a 7-hour date.
Wait, do I know this person?
No.
Oh, okay.
And everything went well, and we ended up sleeping together that night, right? And it was like,
Wait. Here comes Meatball Guy interrupting your story, Anthony.
Okay, what?
Oh, really? You slept with her on the first night? You think that's the first time she's done that, bro? That's why I don't mess with girls that sleep with me on the first night, man. They're fucking sluts. Fucking sluts.
No.
That's why I don't fucking date those fucking sluts.
No.
Fucking sluts.
I have
Slut.
I have a lot of confidence in myself that I was doing shit right.
And guys, you should
that?
too. Don't have these weirdo rules.
That's-
Donovan Sharp would disagree with us.
This is in my notes, man. Yeah, Donovan Sharp. I disagree with that.
Yeah, I disagree too.
One of my notes is that guys who are new to this get caught up in the exactly hows, but be aware that every scenario isn't the same, and being robotic can come off as being fake if you're not careful.
For example, in your case, I want to point out there's two ways of sleeping with someone on the first night. There's really more than two, but I'm going to point out two very different ones. Sleeping with someone on the first night. There is one time where it could just be, I'm in Cancun. There was a foam party. My girls got me drunk. And I woke up next to some stranger.
Big Dick Rodney.
Big Dick Rodney. Shit got cray. And then I just kind of slink out in the morning, do what everybody calls a walk of shame. That's an example of sleeping with someone on the first night. Then there's something else where same girl, she goes out with Anthony. They have just chemistry from second one, the whole date, 8-hour date. Just holy shit, we're going around different places, gazing in each other's eyes. There's just this insane energy between the two of them. They end up sleeping together and staying the night. Are those two different experiences, goddammit?
Yes.
Yes.
Very much.
So guys, quit being so fucking down on yourself. Have confidence in yourself.
Yeah.
Understand sleeping on the first night could be this extreme over here with the phone party, or it could be this amazing, amazing experience. Quit thinking to yourself, I guess she probably does this with everybody.
Right.
I'm not special. Motherfucker, you might be special. Why don't you fucking calm down with these rules?
What if she is, right? Let's say she does. And you find out, hey, damn, I ain't the only one. You can still leave, or that's a fuck buddy. Whatever the relationship you have,
you don't
with
have
her,
to break up.
Yeah,
No.
you don't have to be like, well, my dignity won't allow us to
I have
be
standards.
friends. Yes, I have to let you go now at this point and cut you off. I hate that. I don't let other people dictate how the people in my life, right?
Oh, I like that.
Because
I like that a lot.
when I'm happy, it's about me. It's not about how someone else think I should be, right? Like with Bruno, man, if you're a happy dude, you do you. Your life, I'm sure you're happy and abundant with what you got going on in your life, man, and you got goals and going on, and if sex isn't, because guess what? We was talking about this last week. I wish I didn't have this fucking drive about women in my head about getting pussy. I would get so much shit done.
Yes.
I would have probably been a lot fucking better not fucking worrying about fucking vagina, right?
Right.
So, yes, man, you can have a fucking happy life without worrying about this shit and being the best you can be, right? No one else is coming around you like, hey, Bruno, wake up. Hey, man, you're not being the best you can be. Right?
But if you really want to get this shit down, and you want to get good at it, Bruno's got the right approach, brother. Early on, he's a student of the game.
Oh, yeah, he's doing a great
I like
job,
it.
man. I think he's going to be great, man. You're doing, I think, keep it up, man. And
What other questions you get in your inbox?
Okay, yeah, you want to go through?
I'm interested in this.
Okay.
I feel like we're helping people today, Anthony. I'm excited. I'm excited, man.
All right. How do you deal with disrespect from a woman?
Oh, well. How do you deal with disrespect for a woman? What I want everyone to remember because this is going to happen. So could we put disrespect into a broader topic?
I kind of want to.
When women frustrate and anger you, just to put into a broader topic, because this is where I want our listeners to be living.
I kind of wanted to divide disrespect and shit test, because shit test does have some disrespect in it.
Yeah. So we're gonna dial it down with you, but
All right.
I'll answer with a broader
Okay.
answer. Guys, whenever you get disrespected, we'll put in the category of frustrating and angering you. The first thing you have to do is you have to maintain masculine frame.
100.
It's really hard, guys. It's one of the hardest skills. Again, we talk about skills. One of the hardest skills to learn. What I love about this, too, is this will bleed over into your relationships with other men. This will bleed over into your relationships with your coworkers, with your bosses at work, and things like that. You got to stay in masculine frame. You're not going to lose your temper, go on a rant, talk her down, start an argument. You can't do those things. You've got to maintain masculine frame. Now, you want to go into more detail, Anthony.
Yeah, my response was, I said disrespect can look like a shit test on the surface, right? Shit tests are about your strength or your confidence, but blatant disrespect are about your weaknesses she has observed.
Ooh. The doctor is in, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Anthony is in. That's a very, very good breakdown, by the way.
Got a mic issue right now. I also said be willing to lose her is the first step. You have to be able to walk away and mean it, and that puts you back in the role where you're in control. She can't push you off your center while you're in this position. Because if you're willing to walk away from someone that's disrespecting you and you mean it, she's there. She may go away. You have to be okay with that. But you cannot allow her to disrespect you, because that's going to breed more bad habits, and you don't know how far she's going to be willing to go in that. And in that aspect, you have, my thing is this: a woman won't disrespect you if she's in love with you, right? It may be a shit test, but it's not going to be blatant disrespect. And if it is blatant disrespect, you got to check her on that shit.
Yeah. I love, by the way, sidebar, I love how you and I were, we've obviously gone to the same school, because in that you were like, hey, don't lose masculine frame.
Right.
That was the first thing I thought. But I love where you went with that. And Anthony points out something that I observe with women quite a bit. Or, again, to our LGBT folks, the feminine energy in their relationship. A lot of times, and this is what women will do to you, fellas. They will, again, using the romantic novel, they will write up this fantasy about you in their mind.
Yeah.
And which has nothing to do with reality, has nothing to do with you.
Mm-mm.
But when you don't fulfill that fantasy, now they're angry. I got cheated.
Right.
It's terrible. Oh my! It's like, yeah, I thought you were gonna. I thought you were secretly a pirate and you owned a ship with black sails on it. And like, bitch, I never told you I was a fucking pirate. Well, that's what it was like in the book. Bitch, I never told you I was a pirate.
Well,
fuck
horse?
You. I thought you were a pirate.
Where's your white horse at?
Yeah. Thought you were going to be
Your
an
shining
astronaut. No, bitch, I'm not secretly an astronaut. I'm not secretly a spy for England. And, that's what they'll do. But where that will manifest itself to you guys when they're doing this is like what Anthony was saying. You said disrespect is they've noticed a flaw in you and they're pointing it out. And this is why it's going to sting, guys. And this is why it's really, really hard to keep masculine frame. Okay?
Yeah.
Because they're saying something that's true. Okay? And this is like, I swear to God, and this is why it's even more frustrating than it sounds in a vacuum. It's really, really frustrating because it's like, the only thing I can liken it to is it's like watching a 5-year-old watch a movie and they just figured out CGI isn't real. Hey! That's not a real dinosaur. Yeah, motherfucker. All of us know this is not a real dinosaur. There's a flaw in this movie. Yeah. Thank you. We all knew that movies have flaws. By the way, 5-year-old, you still don't know how to fucking make movies. Yeah. So these people that made this movie with their flaw, they're still better than you.
Yeah.
So shut up. You ain't special because you found a flaw in me, bitch. Do you understand? Do you understand what I'm saying, Anthony? I'm like, oh, word? I have flaws? Bitch, I never said I didn't have flaws. What, are you special because you found them?
Wait, because you don't have flaws. And it's not about you. And it's not about you.
I mean, everybody's got flaws. Yeah, but you do. But you really don't think you have flaws.
No.
And you're disappointed that I have flaws because in your head, you had a fantasy that I didn't have these flaws.
They put you on the pedestal, and then when you fall off because they thought something that wasn't there, isn't there, is now it's your fault. It's not because they put you on the pedestal that it's not their fault that they put you on the pedestal. It's your fault that you didn't live up to it. And this is in their head. It's not something that you spoke out and said, like you said, I didn't tell you I had a fucking ship of gold hidden in the fucking bunker. I only told you that I studied.
Well, that's how we talk about it amongst each other. But I'm going to give Bruno and all of our friends some specifics on that. So, as you just reacted just then, bitch, I didn't tell you I had a ship in blah, blah, blah. That's how men talk to each other. Yeah. But keeping masculine frame, you're going to calmly say, hey, never told you I had a ship. Never told you anything like that. I didn't even tell you I knew how to sail. I've never even been on the water. So, this is a problem you're having. I'm going to go. Okay? I've got things I've got to do. I got to take care of. I was not planning on having some outburst from you today. So I'm going to go. And hit me up, though. We should hang out sometime. And then you leave, and you give your time to someone else.
I was just going to say
give it to your buddy. Man. Yeah. Give it to one of your close guy friends. Give it to your purpose. Give it to your kids if you have them. Just, they don't get you because it's like, okay, well, I appreciate, actually, let me rephrase. I don't appreciate that you had this fantasy, so I definitely don't appreciate that I didn't live up to something that I never promised you. But I want you to have a good day. I'm going to go have a good day, and I'm going to go somewhere you're not.
Yeah.
And, no, what are you saying? You're breaking up with me? No, I said what I said. I'm going somewhere else right now.
That was my thing. I said no contact rule comes into play here. Do not call or text her until she reaches out. And also, the longer she has to wait, the more likely she won't do this again. If she does, it's over. Drop that trick.
Uh-oh. I can see our inbox. What if I lose her, Anthony?
You have to be okay.
What if I lose her? You better take an L.
We've all taken L's. What did Patrice O'Neal
Bruno took an L?
Yes.
Bruno took an L. He made just a few too many mistakes, and he had to take an L.
What is our favorite Patrice O'Neal statement about taking L's?
You got to sit in the corner, and you got to cry. And you just got to take an L, baby.
Look, you love her. Man, she was the best thing popping. You are going to miss her. The things she brought into your life. But the disrespect can't exist. Right?
Yeah.
So, you got to be okay with saying, this is not how I want to live my life. I won't live my life, the rest of my life, with this disrespect.
For yourself.
Existing. Yes.
For yourself. The captain's not going to sit there on the fucking ship, and the sailors are just kind of like throwing popcorn at him and shit.
I was just about to say, if one person does it,
All the sailors.
Everybody get to.
Yeah, and this is when you become sitcom dad. If you've ever seen a sitcom, everybody on the show's like, oh God, Dad, oh,
Dad making
Dad think he actually knows stuff. No. Oh, Dad.
Damn, Dad.
Oh, honey, you haven't been athletic for some time now. Oh, honey, you've got goals? Oh, Dad, are you going to wear that to the school play? And that's what your life looks like if you don't try to take control of it.
What?
Like our boy Bruno over here.
What's also ran for this is women who are constantly disrespecting you or trying to get you to break up with them too.
Oh, that's an advanced lesson.
Yeah.
That is very true.
Because especially if you failed multiple shit tests, they're gonna just start. They say, you know what, the shit test ain't working. I just realized he ain't shit. So
this motherfucker ain't even gonna defend himself, much less me and the kids.
Exactly.
He can't even defend himself.
Now I have to take it to the next level and make him break up with me. And guess what? You know, a lot of guys, like you said, don't want them to take that L, and they would just let her keep disrespecting them. Yeah,
because guys, look in the mirror and understand it's because you're weak. It's because you're weak.
How many you think has Kobe Bryant lost a game? Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson?
No, see, I just want to be Anthony. I want to be like Vince Carter. I just want to play in the league and know I could play in the league. I don't want to be great. I just kind of want to, skip around from team to team.
Just want to be an all-star after being drafted, huh?
Yeah, and then for the rest of my career, I'm just gonna hop from the Raptors over to this team.
Whatever. Don't worry.
Vince Carter coming to the school play dressed like that. When's the last time Vince Carter's been in a fight? Vince Carter, Dad. That's who Vince Carter is, brother. Vince Carter is sitcom dad. He could have been one of the greats, one of the top 50 players of all time, and he just kind of wanted to hang out. He just wanted to be in a subpar relationship where the kids make fun of him, and I don't know. Am I being too harsh on Vince Carter?
I think so, man.
Oh, man. No, I don't think I'm being.
The Raptors suck, man. That was nobody.
He took them to the playoffs.
Yeah, but
he didn't just play for the Raptors.
Guess it was
and Kawhi Leonard won a fucking world title with the Raptors.
When they brought T-Mac, Daryl, his cousin, with them, and that's when they went to the playoffs. They traded him. So it could have been Vince Carter and T-Mac on the same team. Now,
well, they were on the same team that first playoff run they had.
Yeah, but at the same time, too, T-Mac and Vince Carter didn't get along because of the ball sharing duties, whatever, according to some rumors that I was reading. But anyway,
T-Mac and Vince Carter are two different guys, though. One wanted to be the greatest, and he wasn't. But I love T-Mac. He played here in Houston for years. But he always wanted to be upper echelon player. But Vince Carter was just kind of cool having a pro career. Just being married to a 6 or a 7, and the kids don't really respect him that much. And because if anyone's seen Vince Carter play, he could have been one of the top 50 players of all time. He just didn't seem to really care that much. This contract's good. Okay, if you don't like that analogy, how about Dwight Howard? Same guy. Just I want to be paid a lot of money to be my average self. My average self is better than most. So
I'm here.
Yeah. Me giving 65% is better than like half the league. So I'm just going to show up and give 65%.
There was another point.
I'm sure Bruno follows basketball, so I'm sure he appreciated that segment, right?
There was a point in the no contact. when you have no contact, can you do it the right way and the wrong way in that? Is there?
Yes.
Because I remember the no contact and like trying to do no contact with a chick I just met. And I was like, oh, no contact. That bitch didn't give a fuck.
That's it. No, the reason I'm laughing is because, we've spent pretty much this entire episode. We don't have much time left, but we spent this whole episode breaking down, 4 dates, 3 dates.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, 3 dates and then a 4th planned. But, I mean, it's one of those things where you said an obvious mistake. And the reason I'm laughing is because I made that same fucking mistake.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. I'm going to go no contact. Only met this bitch twice.
She don't give a fuck.
Corey Wayne told us no contact, man.
She ain't gonna miss you. My thing is, she's a basketball player. I'm sure she is just as sexy and athletic in playing basketball. I'm sure that's the case. So
I mean, the way Bruno describes that date, I'm not even thinking about her looks because the energy and just
everything
the vibe
else
was just so electric.
Everything else was so good that you was like, well, I don't care what she looked like at this point because everything else is kind of melting together.
It's just you just have that chemistry with some women. I'll be honest, and I know Bruno does not want to hear this. I'll be honest. I want her to never reach out to him ever again.
You want this to hurt.
I want it to hurt for him because he's going to remember it for a long time.
This is going to get him. Again.
This is going to get him one step closer. So when he meets that badass unicorn, that he is going to be ready. He's going to be like Duke college basketball, slapping his hands on the court, palms up. He's going to be ready, son. Because that's how it was when I met my wife. I was ready. I mean, from moment one, we talk about that date, her and I, a lot, just in jest and joking around. And I was ready. I was ready to go, And we've talked about that date on the program before. I'm not going to go into it again. But that's what I want for Bruno. I want him to be, slapping the floor, palms up, ready to go when he meets that unicorn. And I know that if he doesn't learn that lesson here and it doesn't sting, if he thinks he can just kind of get away with these mistakes, he's never going to learn, man. He's never going to learn.
Before we run out of time on this podcast, I want to finish up my final thoughts on everything about what we were discussing. I wanted to say, stop giving her all your time, even if you have it. If you have it to give, if she is not your woman, she gets 2 dates max per week, in my opinion. Like,
that's still a lot. That's double. That's double more than I think. I think it's once a week.
I'm saying from. Because you don't want to do early week dates, stuff like that. But if the free time is like the free time, and it happened to be a Monday and get to see her again on a Saturday, I don't mind 2 days per week, but that's a max.
I do. And
that's a max.
And here's
for
why.
Me.
Specifically in this situation, here's why. Because Bruno did not indicate to us in this story, and I think he would have because he went into a lot of detail. He did not indicate to us that he had a healthy rotation of 5 or more women. At least 4. Okay? Because you can't really... The way he described this girl, in this story, it's like, woo, dream weaver. Like, it's just, all the planets are aligning. And the story, and he wrote it very, very wonderfully. But if he was dating 4 other women, would it have been that amazing to him? Maybe. It may have been, but maybe not. So, but we don't know unless you're dating 4 women, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. When I was dating heavy and I had a heavy rotation, depending on who she was. Now, when I talk about
could have great chemistry.
When I talk about dates don't have to be the hours that they were spending together. It can be 30, 45 minutes, and then it's almost like a tease to the next date. And I had to do that. I was like, look, I'm not here to spend all my money on all these chicks. I'm here to meet you for 30 minutes, and if nothing's going to escalate beyond that, I'm going to holler at you later.
Right.
When you're ready, you know what I mean? So it was not I wasn't giving a lot of my time because I wasn't getting something back. If I was getting something back, then you'll get that time.
Yeah.
Right? And if you got that time, then you were probably satisfied in that moment to where you were willing to wait for me the next, especially if your interest high, you were willing to wait for me to have a time available to you, right? And that's when I say max, maybe something fell through with another chick that I had that, okay, well, I'm going to go back and holler at her. She gave me a good time, and she was being more feminine, so I reward good behavior. If she did well, then I'll get, that's why I said 2 days max.
Adversely, and this is what, so, and I'm not disagreeing with anything Anthony just said there. I'm going to say it's a little more advanced for a lot of people, but I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. But I want guys to be warned that women will become your girlfriend by simply making no other available time for you to meet other women or date them. It'll start out as seeing twice a week, then they'll move in that third one, and you're being rewarded a lot of times with physical touch and sex and everything else. So you'll allow it to happen. I'm sorry, I was very guilty of this with somebody, and it wasn't someone I wanted a relationship with, but they just made themselves available. And when they did, guess what I wasn't doing? I wasn't talking to other women, and I was kind of painted into like, haha, bitch, you don't have any other time for anybody else, so I'm your girlfriend by default now.
You didn't listen to what I was saying. I said, stop giving her all of your time, even if you have it to give, if she is not your woman.
No. I heard you. I was just saying 2 dates a week was too much for me. That's all I'm saying.
I said if she's not your woman, right?
Yeah.
If she is, you get 2 days max per week.
Right.
So
I was just disagreeing fundamentally with 2 dates. I was saying one only.
Man, I'll say this: if she my woman, she'll get 2 dates a week. If she's my woman, at a max on a max level.
Hold on, what does that mean? If she's your woman,
if I'm dating her exclusively,
2 dates a week. Oh, 100. Yeah, I mean, she might get more than that if she's your girlfriend. Yeah, but I mean, that's not where Bruno was.
Well, even still, even if she is my girlfriend in the beginning, like if we're not 6 months deep in, like say we've been dating for 4 months and like everything's worked so well that that's what's happening. I'm not giving her more than 2. I'm seeing her.
That's very wise advice. Yes, yeah, that's a very
because
good point.
This we always say this, man. You have to. It sounds bad saying it, but it's prepping you to be better later. You have to lie up front for later, because later once you're happy and you're satisfied with your life, you're gonna want to do more shit, right? You're gonna want to impute more things in your life to help you. But if all your time is given, and I've been guilty of this, even with my ex-wife, I gave her all my fucking time, and so I was her best friend, I was her fucking listening ear, and I had to do projects and shit, and then do husband duties, and I was everything to her. So when I had to go out of town, and you know me, I had to go out of town, I had to go down to the valley, had to go to Houston sometimes, I was in St. Louis and Chicago sometimes. So
and you had to,
right?
You didn't have a choice.
Yeah, it's my job. So,
but they're still like, I don't like this.
Yeah, and we'll throw a fucking fit, and so,
and they will.
I had a legit reasons to fucking not be there, but she threw a whole fucking fit about it, and I was like, and this is my fucking wife, right?
Yeah.
And so it was like, oh man, Coach Greg Adams on YouTube said something that was like this for me. He's like, women who are your girlfriend, that is the height that they're gonna be of them as a woman, because as soon as they get to the pinnacle of where you accept this, say, hey, you've done this, you've hit the pinnacle of height where I accept you to be my woman forever and start marrying her, it's just downhill from there. I
disagree with that.
That depends on the level of woman you have. I'm not saying every woman is the same, but I'll say this. if you a 97%er, this is true for you, though.
Yes, it is. Yeah,
this is 100% true for you.
I stand corrected.
So you can't, and this is why it's very important. And we didn't get to touch everything we wanted to today, but it was a great show.
I think it's great because we started this out by telling them how much we care.
Yeah.
And we were like, Bruno, you wanted help. We're going to give you all the help you need. I don't think Bruno needs that much help. I think Bruno's going to be good to go.
I think that for most men, that's very true, because I think once you put that ring on her finger, she feels accomplished, and she don't have to do much more, because you've already proved to her that she's good enough, right? And
whoa, hold on. Well, unless you listen to our friend Donovan Sharp. Donovan Sharp has a technique where if a woman brings up relationship, he's like, okay, cool. So you want to be in a relationship. This is what that looks like. Well, that doesn't sound like 50-50 and blah, blah. Cool. So it's not for you, is what I'm hearing. And
we don't have to be in a relationship.
Yeah, we don't have to be in a relationship. Well, that sounds like an ultimatum. No. I'm just giving you choices, and you don't like your choices.
Right. The choice is yours.
But if you're a guy that pushes the relationship first, then you are, by proxy, you're communicating to her, you have done all you need to do here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've done all you need to do. And
that's why
you're good enough the way you are.
That's why I don't give any indication that I want to be in a relationship.
Well, that's what Corey Wayne teaches us, right?
I'm not going to give
you... It's a woman's job to bring it up. Yeah. And then when she does, you communicate to her, guys, covertly, you communicate to her what relationships look like.
Women listening to this and say, see, I knew y'all are afraid of commitment, right? And it's like, no, it's not about commitment at all.
Says the married guy, on the, yeah.
It's definitely not about that. It's definitely about, for me, it's about someone's earning themselves in your life, man. That's what it's about for me. We can't just allow anybody to say, oh, I want to be your girlfriend because I said so, and then I'm like, oh, okay, well, you did give me vagina, and I did invest all this money into dinners and stuff like that and dates, so I guess this is the right move. No. Hold stand, hold steady.
Yeah. Anthony, it's discouraging to me that we've got a long way to go, because it's nothing for women to have these crazy standards with men, whether it be their heights or what kind of car they drive or how much money they make. You and I have got a huge tall hill to climb to just get men to have any standards for women whatsoever.
Love yourself, fellas, and the standards will start to show up for you, I promise.
I want to give a special thanks to our friend and the How to Be a 3% Man group on Facebook. Bruno, you had a lot of courage to tell your story, and you did it very articulately, sir. We appreciate you being part of the show. Anthony, how can they reach us, man?
Man, all our social medias, we are on YouTube. Subscribe, like, and comment. We are on Instagram, Red Pill Phone Tap. We are on email, the Red Pill Phone Tap @gmail.com.
It's actually Red Pill Phone Tap.
Okay, Red Pill Phone Tap.
Red Pill Phone Tap @gmail.com.
Thank you.
Guys, please get to @the Red Pill Phone Tap on Instagram, because then you'll know when all of our shows are coming out, anything that we got to put out, promos and stuff like that. Wherever you're watching us, whenever you're watching us, we appreciate you allowing us to be part of your week. And what we really want to do is we want to help you guys get into the stratosphere and the level that you want to be at life. I've got the brains over here, Anthony, and I can have my smart moments too. But we appreciate you guys joining us down here on Navigation Studios at the Red Pill Phone Tap.